What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the show. This is TimcastIRL podcast, and I am Tim Poole, joined by
Adam Krigler. What up, everybody? How's it going?
And
of course,
Lydia,
the ghost lady of Whiterun.
the ghost.
Welcome to the show. We've got a bunch of stuff to talk about tonight, and as always, it is the apocalypse. Things are getting worse. It's getting worse every day. They're apparently banning seeds. I talked about this a little earlier, but yeah,
This is messed up.
it's been popping up all over the place. Michigan did it. Connecticut did it. You can't grow your own food.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
They're trying to arrest people who are just like walking around minding their own business. I don't know what's going on, but I'll tell you what, man. I've never been more conspiratorial than I am today after seeing all these videos and these stories. Like, remember we were talking about the potential for war, World War III?
Yeah.
They arrested that guy paddle boating in the water.
Yep.
It feels like something else is going on.
I agree.
Like,
something else must be going on.
yeah. You know, it'd be cool if it really was the aliens coming in April.
Anytime now, then, huh?
it's already
Anytime.
the
It's
10th.
April.
Let's go.
So, let's see it happen. So then mathematically, we're looking at decent probability for the 15th. But, we can see it extend down to the end of the month. Yeah, I have no idea what's going on other than just taking them at their word. We have a pandemic. People are dying.
Yeah.
And simple solution tends to be the correct one. And it's possible that, the videos we're seeing are just overzealous law enforcement who just want to grab people. And it's insane.
That seems pretty accurate as far as what I've seen. I mean, I know good cops and I know bad cops, and they both exist. And, you see these guys that are tackling people, or there's one person sitting on a bench and it's like, I'm giving you a ticket.
But how do we get to the point now where they're talking about these immunity cards? You've got to get the government will test your antibodies.
That's nuts.
And then give you a card certifying your immunity.
It's crazy.
Or you'll need to get a vaccine.
This is
Yes,
literally...
let me line up for the government to get injected with the medication approved by them.
Yeah, you made a joke about it. You were like, well, what would you do if the government forced this upon you?
I wasn't making a joke. It's actual speculation about what's going on.
It was a speculation, but I mean, now
They come knocking on
look
the
where
door.
we are, though.
Right?
Yeah.
Yikes.
So I will say it's a little preemptive, but don't be surprised. China's done this. So we got a couple stories. We got this one. We've got Neuralink stories. They've got this new story about how they're actually coding brain activity into text. And then there's also like another story we want to talk to about this in this realm of downloading your brain into a chip. Because we were talking about, was it altered carbon?
Yep.
That'd be so cool. You got like a thing on your brain, you can download yourself and then like put it somewhere else.
Yeah, it would be cool. I mean, there is some drawbacks as far as like, well, they call them meths in the show.
Meths?
That's the name of the ultra elites that are basically immortal now because they're so rich.
Right.
They just
And
live.
keep
They live
getting
in
new
the
bodies.
sky. Yeah. It's like,
And then we got another crazy story. Apparently, there's a dude he has like one of the biggest. It's a private guy who has one of the biggest air forces in the world, because somehow he's ended up buying up all of these old, like these retired fighter jets.
it's cool.
Like, what are they? FA-8 Hornets.
I don't know.
Yeah, and he's got a bunch of them.
It's great.
A
That's
private
really cool.
air force.
I don't know why he needs that many, but
And when you're rich, you're rich.
good point.
I was looking at properties, just around the country, because I like to look at houses and stuff. Just like I'm on board, I'll be like browsing Zillow.
Okay.
And I'm looking at Maine, and this state makes no sense to me. You go on Zillow, you type in Maine, and all these houses are like $3 million. And I'm sitting here thinking, like, who can afford all this? Like, who's going to buy a house in Maine? It's like empty. No one's there. There's no town.
Right.
And then I decided to look it up. I'm like, how many millionaires are there? Oh, there's like, what was like 80-something thousand?
Yeah, there's a lot. A lot
And I
more
was
than
like,
I
oh.
expected. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of rich
thousands.
people.
80,000 live in Maine.
No. Just
Oh.
like in general.
Oh, in general. Oh,
So
okay.
if you're somebody who's, there's like 1 million plus people with more than $10 million. Yeah, so that's the kind of person who's going to be like, I'm going to buy a $3 million house in Maine I'll never go to.
Yeah.
That's crazy to me.
It's
I'm like,
my vacation home.
But hey, man, that's where people bug out to, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Although I hear they have black flies up there, like nasty little things that bite you.
Yeah, those are all up and down the east.
West Virginia
eastern seaboard.
seems like it's where it's at.
I like West Virginia.
Yeah,
Seems like a
especially
nice
after
place.
playing Fallout 76. Not a big fan of the game,
yeah.
but
the music is great.
yeah, the music is great.
And they sing about
That's
West
true.
Virginia.
Yeah, country road, man. All right, so here's what y'all got to do. Hop over to the super chat if you would like us to read your comments. We will do that. And also subscribe, hit the like button, hit the notification bell, and make sure to follow us. Our social media names are above us. And we're on Instagram, Twitter, etc.
There we
All
go.
all the good stuff.
There I am.
And share this if you like it. Tell people that we're really
share it
cool.
for us. Appreciate that whenever you do.
All right, so let's talk about the apocalypse here. It's the apocalypse is probably the wrong term for it.
Right, because it's really not.
The dystopian nightmare.
That's more accurate.
I'm actually kind of shocked that it's been like a month and a half, and we've gone from there is this thing that's happening around the world to literally don't leave your homes or we'll arrest you.
Yep.
Don't go for a run or we'll arrest you. And you may have to get a card to prove the government has tested your antibodies. That's how crazy this. Check out this video.
That's scary, yo.
So this dude John Robertson tweeted, "Is this really still about a virus? Really? Because what I see here is an individual doing their daily run and no one anywhere near 20-foot distancing suggestion, not law suggestion, a cop wants to enforce. This person doesn't want to be enforced upon." Check out this video. I'm going to play this for you. It's actually kind of funny, and I'll have to describe it for those that are just listening. It is a beach, presumably in California. It's playing the Pink Panther music, and there's a dude just jogging, very lightly jogging. Here comes the cop running full speed. Gotta get him. Can't have someone out there, exercising.
The cop's like, stop.
Yeah, the dude's ignoring him.
It's
Nope.
like, no way.
Here comes the ninja music. Now the jogger just goes full sprint, and he's gone. Cop can't catch him.
Yeah, look, he's gone.
Cop's like, I quit.
He's looking back, too. He knows it.
Like, screw you, dude.
And he's gone.
You know what's funny, though?
What?
Go, dude.
There's something funny about a cop trying to chase down a guy who was already running.
Yeah.
Because it's like this dude who's jogging
Yeah.
clearly goes for runs every day. He's going to be really fit.
He's probably
Maybe more
already
likely.
stretched.
Yep.
He's already he's,
Boom, then
he's
he's
in his
good to
stride
go.
already.
Yeah.
He's rocking it.
Think about how insane things have gotten to where a dude's just going for a jog on the beach and the cop's trying to get him.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense to me. Like, what
That's
was
why-
he doing wrong?
I mean, I guess,
Is it something to do with the water? Something protecting the
Well,
coast?
I don't know.
I
Is
don't
that what
know.
you were alluding to?
No, I was going to say simple solution. Cops want to enforce. They want to tell you what to do, I guess.
Yeah.
I almost don't believe it. Maybe it's because we're seeing these videos from like heavy, liberal urban areas. Because I feel like conservative areas, like the sheriff, local cops,
Yeah.
are much less likely to do this. I don't know.
Well, they're not as authoritarian, I don't think.
Well, if you take a look at like the sanctuary, the 2A sanctuaries that popped up in West Virginia.
Okay.
Yeah, or I'm not in West Virginia, in Virginia. When Virginia straight up said we're going to ban all these weapons, all these local cops were like, nope. He's like, you're not going to get me to do it. I swore an oath to defend the Constitution, not violate it.
That's awesome.
But what do you think happens in New York? The cops walk right up to a young kid, slam him up against the wall, and frisk him in violation of the Fourth and Second Amendments. Yeah, they don't care in these areas.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm like, look at this person, whatevs, tweeted, Governor Whitmer has banned us from growing our own food. This is effing insane.
Yeah, what is up with this? Why can't people buy seeds? Why not?
Maybe they
don't
want
know.
civil war or
I don't understand.
some kind of revolution.
What is wrong with people growing their own food?
I don't know.
You'd think that in this time that would be a good idea. Hey,
This is-
supplement your food by growing some of your own. Done.
That's
What's
why
wrong with that?
this is why a lot of people have been saying it can't be about a virus, can it?
Yeah, exactly. That's weird.
Yeah, because
the
if
whole
it was
seed thing doesn't make sense to me.
maybe it's because they're trying to force consumerism in the supply chain.
Good.
They're trying to
point.
say straight up, no, you must buy vegetables from Jewel Osco or,
the seeds
ShopRite.
aren't gonna yield, vegetables for a couple months at least. It's not like people are still gonna need to buy vegetables over
I
the next
can't-
course, couple months, whatever.
I can't give you a reason why this makes sense. They're stupid.
I can't either. I
Government-
don't understand it.
Government bureaucracy makes no sense because they're all dumb and this. Look, if I was going to take the less conspiratorial approach, it's that these bureaucracies and these government officials can't plan for everything. So in their minds, they're thinking these stores shouldn't be selling things like board games. We should just make it so they have to sell food. Seeds aren't food, technically.
Yeah.
So then this happens, which is why command economies and authoritarianism doesn't work. Because now you got to answer the question of why can't I grow some green beans in my backyard?
Yeah.
Like, well, only essential items. Is food essential? It is, but that's not food. Not yet. I don't know. But when you see these videos, it's really easy to see why people they go full conspiratorial, especially when you end up with, immunity cards for Americans are being discussed.
Yeah, this is frightening.
The proposal, already being implemented by German researchers, is under consideration in the United Kingdom and Italy, and they do it in China. You got to get a phone code they put on your phone and they scan it to make sure that you're approved. And if you leave the city, you lose your approval. This is the world you want to live in?
Nope,
Yeah, this is freaky, man.
definitely not.
So this is what we see from Daily Mail. The terrifying reports that tell the truth about how lockdown ends. There will be no return to normal. America's top experts explain how the nation faces mass digital surveillance, testing on an unimaginable scale, or recurring social distancing. Are they trying to get Donald Trump reelected? Because
Feels like it.
Trump just said, he gave a press conference where he said he's got a very difficult decision to make and he's worried he'll make the wrong choice. Open up the economy or keep it locked down. There's not going to be mass testing and he wants to get everything open as soon as possible.
Okay.
Yeah, you're going to find most Americans saying like, yes, please.
Yeah, let's do it.
When you do stuff like this and you send out your people saying like, well, hold on, Trump's wrong. We want to make you all get tested by the government and vaccinated, mandatory vaccination, and then we'll give you your papers. People are going to be like, no, I'll go with the other guy.
Yeah.
I have to wonder, is that what they want?
What, is this like the Democrats doing this or something? Is that
No,
what
I
you're
don't.
saying?
Whoever is doing it, I'm not saying the Democrats.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, yes, because they're ragging on Trump no matter what he does. So when
Right.
Trump says, let's open it up, they're like, ah. But the end result is what? It's people saying, give me the guy who's telling me he's going to get things back to normal.
Yeah.
It's crazy how fast all this kind of started to break down. Coronavirus immunity cards
Yeah, that's crazy.
would determine who is allowed to re-enter the public. There you go. You can never come back into public unless you get your shot.
Seriously.
That's scary. That's a scary premise.
Check this
You're
out.
not supposed to have that much control over me. I don't like it.
Yeah.
Well, how about this story? Should we save this one and do it? No, we'll just talk about it.
What?
No, let's do it.
What?
Please. Let's
This
talk about
guy in
this.
India
That's
was on
crazy.
coronavirus quarantine, escaped naked, and then bit a woman on the neck, killing her.
Ah.
Maybe that's it.
Zombies.
Yeah.
This is
They
what they're not
now
telling
here's
us.
here's what they say. He was mentally ill. He had a
Okay.
history of mental illness.
Uh-huh.
And he was returning from Sri Lanka. What do they say? They say, according to local news, the crazed man fled his house naked and bit an 80-year-old woman on the neck.
Jeez.
Indian cops said the woman was admitted to a hospital on Friday, but died today after her condition worsened.
Oh no.
A police spokesperson told NDTV the accused, Manny Kendon, has a history of mental illness for which he was treated in the Madurai back in 2010. On Friday, he disrobed himself and ran from his home. He tripped and fell 100 meters from his home and targeted the elderly woman who was sitting outside her house. According to the man's family, ever since Manny Kendon returned from Sri Lanka, he was stressed about losses in his business suffered there, and his business suffered there, and his mental illness deteriorated. So,
Jeez.
you know what I was thinking when I was reading this?
What?
How would the news media react to a zombie apocalypse? Because we don't see that in movies. But kind of. Like in Shaun of the Dead, you had that bit where he's like flipping channels.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like every sentence is completed, but it's like telling him zombies are coming.
Right.
And then you have that one section where the guy's like, stay in your homes and lock your doors. But I wonder what the news reports would be like in the very early stages of a zombie apocalypse. Mentally ill man bites woman dies.
Like what we just read.
Boom, just like that.
Huh.
Zombie apocalypse.
Oh my gosh.
But he was in quarantine because he had coronavirus. Is that what I understand?
I mean, that's what it says in the title. Presumably.
So maybe that's phase 3 of the coronavirus.
Zombification.
Well-
turns into a blood crazed throat.
Not
biting.
likely. But the reason I did pull that up is because a lot of people, like you saw in that tweet, is this really about the virus?
Right.
And so there's a lot of people who want to, like the immediate reaction is that there's something else going on we don't know about.
Mm-hmm.
It could just be you give the government power and they abuse it. That's a simple answer.
Yeah.
But a lot of people are looking at this and they're saying things like, this doesn't add up. Why would they need to force medicate us? Why would they be arresting random people? Is it a coincidence these cops are arresting people on the beach for no reason? Like when they said straight up, you can go exercise. What's the difference about the beach? What's going on?
Yeah.
And if something different was happening, they're not going to tell you. I mean, look at what they were saying about the report being given to Trump in November.
Okay.
So this was a big story that was reported. Apparently, some U.S. intelligence official came out and said it's not true. It was never reported to the White House. So the best case scenario is we're looking at in January. This is interesting. January 29th, the Trump administration received a memo saying this is coming. It could get really, really bad. The left and the Democrat types have said this is proof that Trump knew and ignored it. the same day Trump formed the task force.
The same day he got that letter.
Same day he got the letter, he formed the task force.
Okay.
And then went on to start, and 2 days later, banned travel from China. And then later on, he definitely did downplay it, said, oh, it's like a flu, don't worry, it'll be gone. That seems to me like evidence that he was trying to stop people from panicking.
Yeah.
But it's also a question of, we're only learning that they got this memo now, months later. I'm curious what else they knew and aren't telling us.
Yeah, what they know now.
Yeah.
About what's really going on.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because security, they wouldn't tell us, right?
Yeah, they don't want the general public to riot, It's like, the whole seed thing, not being able to buy seeds is weird,
That's really weird.
It's weird. It doesn't make sense, because I just don't get it.
Bureaucracy, stupid people.
I mean,
why would that happen?
I feel like you're right when you said like they want people to need them. They want them to buy into the supply chain and keep the supply chain moving, essentially.
Right.
Go buy all the veggies from the store so that the veggies that are coming out, or if the farmers are making veggies still, who knows? Because some farms are straight up closing and stopping production.
Some people are tweeting, the government doesn't want people to become self-reliant. They don't want to, they don't want us to get to a point where everyone just starts fending for themselves, grows their own garden, gets a decent amount of their food
going
on
off
their
the
own.
grid. Yeah.
Not even off the grid. I mean, you could live in the suburbs. You could live in Detroit and be growing food.
Yeah.
And that cuts you off from the economy and it makes you harder to control.
That's a good point.
Whether it's about control, I don't know. But they definitely want to control things.
It certainly feels
Look at
like
this.
it's about control.
Yeah,
they're saying you cannot buy seeds
Yeah,
because
that
they're
doesn't make
non-essential.
sense.
Like everyone's at their home. What else? What are people doing? They're working on their homes. If it makes sense to grow a garden. That's it's great.
Maybe
You're
it's
not
just
working.
an example of the government being completely inept and not understanding anything about what their policies are supposed to do.
That's possible.
That would be great if that's all it is. It's just ignorance. That would be wonderful.
I'll tell you what, man, we are getting dangerously close to me getting outright banned on every YouTube platform.
Yeah.
Because we're getting to the point where the law is a complete violation of the Constitution, where the cops are trying to arrest people for going for a jog.
Yep.
And there's a point where YouTube will ban me for advocating for breaking the law. Because at what point, so there's like this, all these lefties are mad at InfoWars. Apparently, I think Owen Schroyer said something like he's planning mass civil disobedience of some sort, violating these social quarantining things because of how overzealous the government and the police have become.
Okay.
Well, yeah, at what point do you say you can't do this? Look, I get it if you say, hey, don't go outside, we got a pandemic.
Right. But you can go grocery shopping, you can take a walk, you can go exercise.
No, they're arresting people for
I
doing
know,
it.
but that's what they're saying, though.
Right.
They're saying you can go whatever. And, there's some places that people are getting tickets for being in their car. Just going
yeah,
places.
yeah, I
being
saw that.
pulled over and getting citations for...
Yeah.
What? Why? They're in a quarantined place. How is a car not in quarantine? It's not
It was people going to a church, right? Is that what you saw?
I'm not sure where they were going. I just saw that they were pulled over, and
I was reading a story of people who pulled up to a church parking lot and no one got out of their cars.
Okay.
And the cop went up to all the cars and started giving them tickets. Started threatening them. It's but they're locked in. You're violating. This is why people think it's not about the virus. Why would a cop try and grab you if it was about not spreading a virus? These people are either ridiculously stupid or they're lying. I never attribute to malice that which can be explained by incompetence. So maybe it's just a bunch of moron cops who are like, duh, I'm going to touch somebody because they're not supposed to touch people.
Well, I know in New York that cops had to fill a certain quota or else they either got knocked pay or the whole department got less money the next quarter. So is that what this is?
I don't know,
They're just
man.
oh man, we got to figure out any way to fulfill our quotas. I don't know.
I don't think so. Everything's frozen, so they certainly can't be doing quotas.
Well, what is it?
New York's got about one in 5 cops who's out sick.
Yeah, that's
And
a lot.
it's like I was saying too. It's I wouldn't expect to see this in a more rural area.
Okay.
And it could be because the cops know they're going to be accountable to their community.
Yeah.
Whereas this cop, he's like, I don't know you, and I don't care. I'm going to chase you down in the beach because you went for a jog.
Yeah. What?
Seeing that dude get
Makes no
arrested
sense.
from the paddleboarding thing makes no sense.
It doesn't.
They're touching him.
Yeah.
Then there was the dad who got arrested in the park with his daughter playing t-ball. 4 cops show up, breaking the social quarantining, the social distancing,
Yeah.
and start touching the guy. So either they're really, really dumb, like, man,
Yeah.
I've seen people dumb as a box of rocks. I didn't know people could be dumber than that.
Yep.
Like, oh, there's a pandemic. I better go and touch a guy who's minding his own business.
Yeah.
What? Unless it's about something different. And I don't know what it could or would be, but this is why people are certainly saying it on social media. Because it feels like we're just being fed nothing but lies. Nothing but lies, man.
I agree.
I don't know though, dude.
Something's off.
I'm there's up and downs. Like we were just talking about this. It sometimes feels like things are getting better.
Yep.
We're hearing reports out of New York that the ICU usage is like gone way down.
Yeah.
Projections were off. Not that many people are going to die. So
yeah, I'm hearing that from multiple states. They're like, all of our numbers are actually going down. This hospital was prepared, and that looks like we're not even going to need it.
But do we get
It's
a
like,
wave 2?
Good. I mean, is wave 2 going to be nearly as strong as wave 1?
It wasn't the Spanish flu. It was worse.
It was worse in
Way
wave
worse.
2.
Yeah.
Because everyone let their guard down.
I don't know.
I'm assuming.
I can't
so.
tell you, man. I can tell you this: there comes a point in time when these here's what I said earlier. That cop broke the law.
Yeah.
Because that guy didn't do anything wrong. You see the video out of Philly where the guy's dragged out of the bus,
No.
like a bunch of cops go in the bus
because he
dragged,
wasn't wearing a mask.
and you don't have to wear a mask. There's nothing. The bus it actually says on like the bus ticketing things like no one is required to wear a mask.
Yeah.
And the cops don't care. They were like, let's all go in a huge group and grab a random guy and drag him out of the bus. They didn't even arrest him or anything.
Seriously? They just pulled him off the bus?
They just pulled him off. There was one guy who was wearing a mask, but it wasn't a surgical mask.
Yeah.
And they're like, no mask, get off. And he's like, well, I have this. And he's like, I don't care, get off. And he's like, okay. Like, dude, I'm surprised. So here's what I'm saying. I'm going to get banned on YouTube. You know why? Because the guy who's resisting the cops, those cops are breaking the law. I'll put it this way. You should follow the law. Those cops, they broke the law.
Yep.
So when a bunch of criminals, that's what those people were, they were petty criminals, assaulting somebody in a bus who did nothing wrong, that wasn't an instance of someone violating the law. But you know how YouTube's going to interpret it. Oh, the cops are right.
Of course.
Oh, but if you can't encourage people to resist police. You can't say that. You'll get banned. So you quite literally now have several instances where police are breaking the law. Criminal activity. Petty, for sure. Like low assault and battery, maybe. They're doing it. They're the ones violating all these quarantining rules.
You know what? I feel like this has always happened. There's good cops and bad cops out there, and everybody's inside. So it's kind of like the internet all over again, because now everybody's seeing everything. So the little things that happen, everyone's like, whoa, now we can see it. Because there's nothing going on anywhere.
I mean, kind of, but police brutality was hugely viral over the past decade.
Exactly.
And they've actually tried shutting it down.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm saying is...
That proves my point even more, because...
If I make a video where I say, if a police officer tries to break the law,
okay,
you should not abide by what they're saying. If I said that and told people to do that, I would be banned like that. Boom. Gone. So we're supposed to sit here and take it. As we see seeds get banned, as people get chased down the beach by cops for no reason, as people get dragged off of buses for breaking no laws,
and not even arrested,
or a dad and his kid being, the dad gets locked up.
Yeah,
dude paddleboarding by himself. They're asking for trouble. I'm not advocating for anything. I'm saying people are gonna put on Guy Fawkes masks,
and that's not even
go march around.
That's not even bringing into the conversation the red flag laws,
totally,
and the no knock warrants that are getting people killed, innocent people getting killed because they got the wrong house.
That's what I'm saying. It sounds like
crazy.
It sounds like they're trying to make it happen.
Yeah.
You know what? What bothers me more than anything is inefficiency. And the government right now, and typically, is just so ridiculously inefficient. It's like I can't stand watching someone with a square peg trying to jam it into a round hole.
Yeah.
Like it's like nails on a chalkboard to me. And I'm sitting here being forced to watch this. And so you've got some people who think it's more nefarious than that. Like there must be something else going on. I can respect it, but we don't have any evidence to suggest that. I'm just looking at a bunch of really, really dumb people running around like chickens with their heads cut off.
Seems
like I guess we should ban seeds. That seems like it's a smart idea. We should stop people from running on the beach. It's like who are these? You know what, man? It takes a really, really stupid person to enact these kinds of rules or to think that their authoritarian decree will actually solve the problems. This is why I hate government. I don't want to have anything to do with it because everybody thinks they know the answer. Everybody thinks that I know, here's the plan. If we do X, we will get Y. No, you don't know that. You have no idea what you're talking about.
That's a good point.
No one human can calculate all of the variables that will come out of your stupid policies.
Truth.
Well, I guess we can just sit down and look forward to the point when the government, Uncle Sam comes knocking and says, I want you to inject this in your arm. Don't ask me what it is. Shut up.
Oh, and
Up your sleeve.
Are you saying no? Okay, fine. You're not allowed out of your house anymore.
Sounds
You're
fun.
not allowed in the public space. Right? That's what they're saying?
Can't
It's like,
work.
Yeah, if you want to.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
You know what? I think
That's
I think
insane, man.
I think it would be fair to say it's a bit preemptive because
Yeah.
Fauci says we're talking about it. I don't care if it's preemptive or not. I think it's important to talk about, make sure everybody knows they're talking about it.
Yeah.
And if they want to do it, I'll tell you what, no one's going to do anything. No one's going to say anything. They're going to be like, okay. When he started saying all this stuff and you started seeing, more like right libertarian types refuse, say like, no way, you get mainstream media attacking them, saying like, you're causing all of these problems. You know what's really funny is like the fluoride thing. Do you know about fluoride?
Mm-hmm.
How it's like bad for you, right?
Yeah, to ingest it.
Right. And we ingest it because it's in our water.
Well, if you drink water from the faucet that
Right.
has fluoride in it,
It does.
which I do not.
So there's a couple arguments there. Initially, for the longest time, I remember, like Alex Jones talked about this stuff quite a bit, but he often, layers things in a kooky way.
Okay.
So for the longest time, fluoride, if it's good for your teeth, that doesn't mean you should swallow it.
Yeah.
The argument was mainstream science saying the concentrations in tap water were too low to cause neurological impairment, but high enough to actually protect your teeth. And this is a really good thing. One of the arguments from the libertarians was that it doesn't matter whether it works or doesn't. You can't mass medicate the population without their consent. Turns out a collection of reports were put together, and I think this was by the National Institute of Health, finding that, guess what? They found neurological impairment from lifelong exposure to fluoridated tap water.
Not surprising.
Now, don't look. I'm not a scientist, so this was it was an aggregation of like 26 studies that each found in various ways there was a slight impairment due to drinking tap.
Well, there was a study, documentary I watched about ancient Egyptians, and there's a gland in the center of the brain.
Pineal or
The pineal gland, I think.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is. Yeah, and it's supposed to be like where your soul resides.
so they believe.
So they believe, right?
Yeah.
And it's all hearsay essentially, from what I understand of what they believe. But it turns out fluoride mutes that gland.
I don't
supposedly again.
Right.
Again, supposedly.
Let's put it this way.
But it's interesting though,
As fairly skeptical people,
Mm-hmm.
this is the claim. The claim is that the pineal gland, the third eye, the gateway to the soul, whatever they want to call it,
Yeah, exactly.
is like petrified or damaged or muted.
Because of fluoride.
I don't know if that's true.
I don't know if it's true either.
I've
but-
seen the stories. What I can say, I have read some articles a really long time ago, so it's even possible I'm totally wrong about the fluoride thing. But there's still the argument from the libertarian's perspective is if you're saying it's good for someone's teeth, then why are you forcing people? Like, why are you putting it in the tap water so everyone drinks it and bathes in it?
Yeah, exactly.
That's like people should have a choice, right?
Right. They should have
So
a choice.
I'll tell you what, I'm not going to be too keen on them saying. So apparently, I guess this is how it'll work. Once things start to die down, the CDC is saying that people have been exposed can start coming back to work. Well, how do they know if you're cleared to go back to work?
Yeah.
Immunity cards. So they'll test you by swabbing the back of they go all the way back up to your brain basically with the Q-tip and try and swab, get a sample. I don't think it's the same test. That's the COVID test, but they want to do an antibody test to see if you have the COVID-19 antibodies.
I think that one will be a blood draw test.
Probably.
Type thing. Yeah.
And if you do, then you are cleared. And if you don't, you must get your medicine from the government. I'm not too sure I would like them to inject me with their hastily made injection by mandate.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. I got tons of shots. Like I was saying before when I went to Egypt and all that.
Right.
It's like, I don't care. It's like, I'm really not worried. If it really was really, really bad, you'd see adverse reactions. Maybe you don't be, if the people who want to be the guinea pigs who get the first shots, you can do that. But I'm not super worried.
Isn't that already happening? Isn't there already
People are doing tests.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's something really weird is going on depending on what you read. you'll see a lot of Trump supporters are saying you've got hydroxychloroquine, azithromycin, and zinc or some other combinations have been anecdotally effective, and you're seeing this treatment used around the world. Yet for some reason, I can't tell you why, there's all these nonprofits and news organizations trying to tell people not to do it, not to take it. You got a Democrat in Michigan saying it saved her life. Then I saw this journalist, Blue Checky, tweeting out guidelines saying a lot of people are taking this, but here's what you need to know. It can kill you. And I'm like, why are you, who's not a doctor, telling people not to take this?
Agenda.
The conspiracy theory is that the pharmaceutical companies stand to gain a massive, massive amount of money if the goal is a vaccine instead of a cure.
Oh, okay.
It's a conspiracy theory. I'm not saying it's true, but I'll tell you what. We're dealing with capitalist America, whatever you want to call it. I mean, if I ran a vaccine company or a pharmaceutical company, I'd certainly be lobbying like the vaccine is the best way to do this. You know, you don't got to worry about reinfection. We don't got to worry about manufacturing the medicine in the future. And yeah, I think there's some fair arguments for a vaccine. But the argument now is that, you know, Trump is interested in whatever will get the job done and getting things going again. Yeah. But big corporate interests want a vaccine they can patent and control.
Yep, that's true.
Yep.
Especially if this virus is going to be around. If it keeps mutating a little bit, just like the flu stays around.
Yep.
They'll
big flu
forever be in business with a whole nother thing. Everyone gets their flu
vaccine.
Shots. Well, I mean, I say everybody because not everybody. I don't either, but I don't get the flu.
Yeah. It's weird,
So
you know, because
if you're healthy, you stay fairly healthy.
There's the flu shot only works for a few strains, though, right?
Yeah, they try to calculate as best they can with scientists in Australia because their flu season is before ours.
Really?
Yeah, that's why half the time it doesn't work. By the time it gets here, it's totally different. Yeah, I mean,
that's why I kind of just like.
But they're churning them out, though, aren't they?
Well,
those flu shots.
I had to do it because I worked with compromised populations, but I probably wouldn't do it otherwise because I never get the flu. I just don't want to pass it on to somebody who doesn't deserve it. You know.
You know why I think I'll get banned? Because if you look at the mainstream media, what do they say? Don't question the government, young citizen. The government is always right unless it came from Trump. That's really what it is. It's weird. It's like
That's a good point.
So when the government says vaccines are good, the media says, well, the government said it, therefore it must be true. Like, what happened to the days of like we don't trust anyone in the government?
Or trusting anyone at all until you do your own research. Mm-hmm. That's my favorite thing is to do my own research. I want to find out all the different sources I can, and sometimes I'm even wrong, and that's okay.
Yeah.
You know, find out the best stuff.
Right now, I'm on YouTube, and they'll probably take cuts of this and be like accuse me of being anti-vax or something. They've done it to a lot of people. I can't remember who this was, but there was a celebrity who said that, vaccines are good, vaccines are important, vaccines save lives. It's one of the greatest accomplishments in medical technology of the past 100 years, but we should question government-mandated vaccinations. And then all of a sudden, all these stories popped up saying anti-vaxxer, anti-vaxxer, anti-vaxxer. Sponsorships would be like you're totally going after their career because nobody wants to be associated with that smear campaign.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but are we supposed to just be like, I think everyone should just get a mandated injection from the government?
It's a scary premise because where does it end?
Yeah. It doesn't. It's not gonna.
Exactly.
It keeps happening. It keeps getting worse. And I wonder where the breaking point is. Like, I've never seen it this bad. I wonder if there's something else we don't know about. But I don't know what it would be. It's not like I have evidence. I'm not going to speculate.
I think you might have shed some light a little bit on it. It's the pharmaceutical companies want to be the ones that make the money off of whatever we do from this.
Yeah, and
why wouldn't they?
I wouldn't even call it necessarily a conspiracy. That's like exactly how businesses run in this country.
And that's what they've been doing for quite some time. Like, how is it anything new, actually? It's not. So, of course, they want a piece of this.
So they'd lobby for a vaccine.
They'd
a
worldwide pandemic. Everybody's affected because it's novel.
Money to be made.
Yeah, they see dollar signs. That's all they see. Mm-hmm. Scary-o.
I mean, yeah, but can they get it out fast enough? Is like where I don't know, man.
Who knows?
I think the system can only handle so much. And I see people going for walks every day outside.
Me too.
Yeah, how long until some cop walks up and just shuts them down? Because in South Jersey, there's stories like several people getting arrested for doing just that.
Seriously? Just walking around?
Just walking around.
I don't understand.
Now, back talking, like one of the stories I read was that was a couple people were walking and the cops rolled up and said, "Hey, you need to go home."
And they swore at him.
And they yelled back, "I don't need to do anything,
Yeah.
Like I don't need to fucking do anything." Oh, I just swore. There you go.
Oh,
That's
there
it. We just got totally demonetized.
man.
Whatever. I don't care.
Yeah.
But yeah, they swore at the cops, and then all of a sudden the cops arrested somebody.
That was an actual quote, right? That's what you were doing.
Yeah.
You were actually quoting
Direct
them.
quote. Yes.
Well, we did just get everything completely demonetized, but I'm not going to cry about it.
All right.
You know what, man? I'm tired, and we're dealing with the apocalypse dystopian nightmare all rolled up into one. Cops are arresting
Understandable.
people for swearing. It was newsworthy.
Yes.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. YouTube doesn't care.
Yeah.
No, but I mean it, man. I'll tell you what. In a week, what happens if cops are going door to door and arresting people for some stupid reason? No one thought we'd get to the point where a cop would arrest somebody on the beach
Yep.
for just like for walking.
Or attempted to arrest him.
No, I just mean we've seen all the stories. The guy in the paddle boat.
Yeah, the paddle boat
Like
guy.
nobody thought if I told you that in January that
Yep.
the cops would randomly grab someone saying you're not allowed to be outside, they'd be like, "Shut up."
Right. Like, come on.
Yep.
10 years ago, you said, look, Donald Trump's going to be president. There's
Yeah.
going to be a worldwide pandemic. You're not allowed to go outside unless you get a vaccination card issued by the government,
Immunity card.
or you'll be arrested for going into public. People would be like, get out of here.
Yeah, it's funny. I
Be
was
like, yeah, that's where we are right now.
I was looking at Amazon, and I can't remember what movie it is, but it was like the movie was made in the 80s, and it was like in the distant future of 2013.
Yeah,
like
I
the
saw
world isn't like in ruin or whatever.
The distant future,
And I'm like,
2013.
man, 7 years ago,
Oh man.
nothing happened.
Yeah.
I don't know.
All
26
those movies.
Right.
There's so many of them that the past is their future.
Yeah. Well, they
So
always thought the
weird.
year 2000 would be crazy. I remember seeing this comic
Mm-hmm.
of what they thought the year 2000 was going to be like, and it was like firefighters were flying. Like, yeah, What did we do wrong, man?
Where did we go wrong?
Yeah, like in the
Where's
60s.
our jetpacks?
Yeah,
Yep.
seriously, my flying car.
I want a jetpack.
The past generations had such high hopes for us.
Yeah.
It's 2020, and what do we have?
Social justice.
Social justice. We do have cars that can drive themselves.
No, you know what we have? Complacency.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's it.
That's what it is. People are comfortable doing nothing. They're not striving to further the human race anymore.
I blame video games.
Really?
You know, there's this quote that I love that says, if humans ever meet extraterrestrials, they'll shake hands not because they overcame nuclear weapons, but because they overcame the Xbox. And the quote was,
Okay.
it's in reference to,
Interesting.
we evolved a certain way to chase after certain things. We love fatty, sugary foods, right?
Okay.
So we chase after these things and we mass produce them to our own detriment. We end up as morbidly obese Americans. We get sick, we get heart disease, and we end up dying. Some people resist, some people exercise and do better, and because it feels good as well. But that's also another issue. Dopamine. So we create video games that simulate goal completion. And now we've actually mastered the manipulation to get people to waste as much time as possible on these addictive games.
It's true. I see it.
I mean, look, Twitter and Facebook, they know they're extremely addictive. It's on purpose.
it's just a different game.
You know why Twitter won't get rid of the like count and the retweet count?
Why?
That's the addictive nature of it.
That's the
Yep.
game.
How many points can I get?
Yep. How many followers can I get? How many likes? How many retweets?
You put out a
All that.
tweet and you look at those numbers and you're like, ooh, I can do better.
Ooh,
I can do better next
dopamine
time.
kick.
Yep.
Yep. Exactly.
See, I get mine from skateboarding. I go out and do a trick, and if I succeed, I'm like, yes.
Yeah, I know
feels
some
good.
people that say they don't play games, and yet they're heavy Twitterers.
It's a game.
And
Yeah,
it's
it
like
is very
Facebook
much a
too.
game.
What's the difference?
Yeah.
You play with other people. I play on a PlayStation 4.
It's an addiction.
it's the same
meant
thing.
to be addicting.
Yeah.
And so,
Same with shopping. Shopping's very much the same.
the
It's all a
general
game.
the general idea of this quote is, maybe do you know what Fermi's paradox is?
Mm-mm.
It's a bunch of different ideas about as to why we haven't encountered extraterrestrial intelligence.
Oh, okay.
The idea being that you could do a mathematical equation of how big the universe is, the how many planets can sustain life as we know it,
Okay.
and then why is it that we have yet to find them? There's a bunch of reasons. It could be because we're the first. That's one. We're the first intelligent species to harness technology. It could be because the intelligent species doesn't use radio waves, so they're giving off no signals. And it's just we may have already seen the planet with life on it. We just can't tell because they use wired technology.
Yeah.
It could be that the universe is so old that intelligent life flickers like lights on a Christmas tree, lighting up and then dying out, and lighting up and dying out. Or it could
that
be,
makes sense.
or it could be something called the Great Filter, that every intelligent species at some point comes across a filter that wipes them out. One of those is self-gratification. That instead of saying we need to survive, we say we need to feel good. So
that seems pretty prevalent right now.
Totally. That's like everything we have is decadence.
People don't know how to
hedonism.
grow food. Even if they wanted to, they're not allowed to buy seeds now anymore.
Well, so
building shelter, like if everyone was just dropped in the forest, there's a huge amount of people that would just get wiped out.
oh, dude, most of them.
Yeah.
But the idea in this regard is, so we evolve. We are goal oriented. We get a satisfaction from solving something, in our brains. We get satisfaction from eating sugary and fatty foods because they were rare. And it was like high energy density, so it was good for us. These things helped us succeed to this point.
Yeah.
But now that we've controlled it all, what do? Right into the veins.
Yeah.
Krispy Kreme donuts, wads of sugar wrapped in sugar, soaked in fat, sent right to your arteries.
Colorful images for your 2-year-olds on their
Final
iPads.
Fantasy VII Remake.
Don't bring that into this.
Oh, I have to.
Don't
It
you-
must be
leave that
done.
out.
Don't you dare.
It makes
sir.
you feel
Do it.
good.
It does. You're right. I got
Storytelling.
no defense there.
So then what we had to do in the past when faced with real challenges was scary. The bear emerges from the forest. Panic. What do? Well, solving these problems, completing goals and fighting for your survival felt good, and it helped you survive, and you had to do it.
Yeah.
Now we're at the point where, wild animals anymore for the most part. Sometimes a deer wanders into Chicago and everyone panics.
Or
Like
there's a
once every
turkey in the front yard and everyone freaks out.
Everyone stops and goes,
look
"Look
at
at
that
that
turkey."
Cool. That's,
Yeah, it's awesome.
That's exciting.
Yeah,
We're,
man.
what we've done is
It's
we've
sad, though.
we've wrapped ourselves in a self-gratification cocoon.
Yep.
So
A
now-
comfortable bubble.
But now here's the real challenge. We've evolved to survive on this planet in this planet's conditions. If we need to go to other planets, we don't have any evolutionary development in our minds that's saying go to Mars. Some people just want to do it. It's there, right? Because they're smart people who can think ahead and see the future.
Okay.
But in terms of the immediate self-gratification, no way, man. A Twinkie solves that right away.
Yep.
Look, man, if I want to feel good and get a dopamine trigger, I can try and build a rocket over 20 years, or I can eat a Twinkie.
Well, that's why people are just greedy. They want. Period.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's basically all.
Well, so
that's
that's
it.
That's
they want.
That's what the point of the quote is basically.
Yeah.
That humans might wipe themselves out because we're more interested in the quick, easy, feel good than we are the long term. It's humans want short term gains. They don't want to deal with long term gains.
Yeah.
It's like I gotta wait 3-5 years for that. Not interested. So then what ends up happening is we build a bunch of dumb stuff on the earth, grind it to its core,
Yeah.
rotting and withered, and then some smart people may have built rockets and GTFO'd, land on Mars, some other planet. The rest of us, most of us, just want the quick dopamine trigger. That's the worrying great filter.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know what's even worrying about it, I guess, as well? Maybe there's some weird authoritarian light at the end of the tunnel. But this is another thing. If governments start coming around and saying, like, you must do this, you must do that, and people are like, I got a PlayStation. Yeah. Why am I going to resist? I feel good playing, this video game or watching this movie or eating these Krispy Kreme donuts.
I don't know. People seem to not really care about, voting anymore.
Yeah.
It's like young people don't vote.
Maybe
they don't
that-
care anymore.
Maybe the goal with Biden was they were trying to make everyone give up.
Maybe.
The DNC is like, how can we get people to just stop caring? Yeah. Just give up. Ram Biden down their throat. And all of a sudden people are like, dude, I am so out. I do not care about this. I mean, maybe because think about how the culture war was bubbling up. Like it was kind of scary, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Like even I was being bullish on civil war. That's all changed now with the coronavirus pandemic. But I was saying, like, you look at these factions fighting in the street. What do? Well, the DNC rams Biden down everyone's throat and they just give up. They stop caring.
Yeah.
And that simmers things down, I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
I don't know, man. Well, Nightmare Dystopia is fun, but why don't we jump over to some super chats, see what the crowd is thinking, and then let me see what's the next story that we have. We have should we talk about the guy who wants everything to burn?
Yeah, that's awesome.
He wants it all just to burn.
No. Not he doesn't want everything to burn. Just the corporations that already have a good.
He brings up a really good point. So basically, this guy said, "Let all the big companies just go under.
Yeah.
Just let them drop out. Who cares? Save Main Street. Forget Wall Street."
Yeah, he says like we got to help the actual people. That's not wanting everything.
Well,
to burn.
no. It's even a business thing. He's like, "They failed. Congratulations. You're out. Sorry. That's how business works." I'm like, that's a good point.
He's got a good point.
You want to play the capitalism game, you play the capitalism game.
Yeah, let's talk about this next.
All right, let's grab some super chats. We'll talk about this guy who said, let them all fail. Swordsman Mike says, Tim, when I get home from work, I'm going to make that face you made reacting to that screeching about Bernie losing an emote on my Discord server. Degenerates, which you can find on the website Disboard. Not safe for work, by the way. Hey, appreciate it. Redbeard says, immunity cards. Hey, feds, do you want boog stuff? Because that's how you get boog stuff. Boogaloo.
Yep.
Boogaloo.
They're dancing on it, man. This is crazy. Yu says, F non-essential stream. Oh, we are so non-essential.
No, we are super essential.
We're non-essential, but we work from home, so you can't do anything to stop us. Yeah, you know, be funny.
That's a good point.
Like we get a call from some cop, and he's like, how are you working? You should not be working. We work from home. It's like, I want to shut you down, but I can't.
And we're socially distanced. Look at us.
We're
all
actually
6 feet apart from
2
each
meters.
It's a good point. We are.
2 meters.
Nice.
Sneaky says, thankfully, Winnie the Flu hasn't done much here other than some closures and supply chain slowdown.
That's good.
Lord Squirrels. Oh.
Go back.
Why
I
we got to
want to
do
read
that?
There we go.
Lord Squirrel says, Tim, remove the beanie and use the power surge to save us from this idiocy. Sincerely, a Michigander. It cannot be done. Only in the gravest of danger. Jacob, thanks for the super chat. The Unrefined says, my mom thinks that CV test drive-thrus are collecting your DNA.
Okay.
Aren't they though?
Aren't they?
Technically correct, I guess.
Yes.
Because they're so what's it called, like the epigelial or whatever it's called cells.
They have to test the DNA.
What's it called? When
Corona.
they swab the cells in your mouth.
Yeah, the back of your throat.
Well, so they're gonna get your DNA.
Yeah,
It's are they really storing your DNA? I doubt it. Ancestry.com was like giving away your DNA. Weren't they doing
that? I
that?
read about that. It's like, whoa.
They already have it.
Dude.
They don't got my DNA.
Nope.
But hold on,
mine.
like, a genuine question, like serious question. Why should I care if they have my DNA?
They're gonna make a clone of you and replace you, so they can have Tim
I mean,
Pool.
no, but
It's true, we need more than one.
I understand that the law enforcement issues. People are worried about like violations of the Fourth Amendment, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess that's it.
Yeah.
Privacy rights and stuff.
No, they want to replace you. They're gonna make a clone of you.
No.
So
There's serious
you're gonna
concerns
start
about giving DNA to
saying
companies.
their propaganda.
There's serious concerns about giving your DNA to companies, and I'd like to hear them articulated because I haven't heard any cohesive reason why someone would really freak out about bulk collection. There are issues of people who have committed crimes and then been caught later because they gave their DNA to Ancestry.com.
Or their sibling, their
Oh,
parent
really?
gave it to them. Yeah.
And so, does that? I mean, if a criminal got caught because they gave it their DNA, I've been fingerprinted. When I got hired by American Eagle Airlines,
Okay.
I had to go through the federal registry thing where it's like if you want to work at the airport, they take your information. And I was like, I don't plan on committing any crimes. I do think it's fair to say that, who knows what the next crime is going to be.
I mean, walking down the street,
Exactly.
Apparently
you can
it's
get
a
arrested.
Yep.
And
go run on the beach. You're committing a crime now.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Get on the bus.
It's easy
without
to-
a mask.
It's easy to say right now, like, I don't care if they have my fingerprints. I'm never going to commit a crime. And then in a year, they're like, it's illegal to go to the bathroom.
It's illegal to have a YouTube live show and talk about whatever you want.
Well, how would fingerprinting, like, it would be, if they say straight up, no one's allowed to go outside, period. And then, like, they do a fingerprint test on, like, a railing, and they're like, we got Tim Pool's fingerprints. That proves he was outside.
We got you.
We got him. So I understand that. But you know what we'll do? I'm sure some people have already popped into the Super Chat with the DNA stuff, and so we'll get down to it. Ryan M. says, have some stimulus monies. My check is in account. Government giving me some of the money they stole back to me finally. Glad to hear it. Muffin says, I'm a Subverse investor. Love Tim and gang. There hasn't been an investor update since August. Would it be possible to get quarterly updates or access to financials? Thanks. I will absolutely sync up with the team on all of that stuff. And we've got really, really awesome stuff going on. The quality has been taking off. The camera work. We got some really cool documentaries. It's going to be awesome stuff. So absolutely, I will send them a note and we'll go over everything we need to do. The Memes of Destruction says, if we are doing a $6.2 trillion stimulus and divided by 210 million adult Americans, we could do about $30K per adult American. Employees could buy stock to help out and take percentage ownership. Thoughts? I don't know. I don't think anyone knows. I seriously don't think so. And that's why I'm like, leave me out of it. I would never try and implement policy because you don't know what the ramifications are going to be. I mean,
always something.
I think one of the issues is that if you give everyone $30K, all of a sudden nobody needs to work anymore.
True.
And that would just cause hyperinflation.
And humans always love to take the easy route and the lazy route. So you give everyone 30 grand, a lot of people are going to stop working, and you think it's shut down now. Imagine after like 6 months of that, when suddenly all the money runs out and there's no jobs available because the people already who want to work took all the jobs. The mess.
Yep. Rye says, whenever I hear about rising house prices, I think back to Saints Row 2 and that mission. You know, the one with the septic tank. I don't, but
Never
I'll take
played
your word
Saints
for it.
Row, no.
Evil Morty says, Google wants to track you now opinion. Yeah, Google is tracking people's like cell phone data for like...
Wants to. They are.
There they are. They
Yeah.
are.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? Everyone agreed to it. Everyone who's got a phone.
Yeah.
We just like cheerfully go to the store like, I can't wait to get the new tracking device. I'm so excited.
Like, oh, what's this? You have to accept? Okay, yeah, whatever.
Yep.
I'll accept it.
South Park did that episode where it's like he agreed to become part of a human centipede. Like, well, you should have read it. And everyone else, he's like, did you guys read it? Like, we did. You did? Well, yeah. Why would I agree to something if I didn't read it? And he was the only one who just clicked yes.
No.
So then he gets, human centipede. Yeah.
No.
I won't explain it. Della Morte says, Fallout 76 so bad it made me not like John Denver.
Oh, ow.
Ouch.
Julia Braunbeck says, I think YouTube has found this channel. For the past few days, your live stream has not showed up in my notifications. And you guys were saying something similar, right?
Yeah, that actually has been going on since we started the show. So it's not anything new, and I don't know what it is. So,
I think...
I pull it up right here on my computer, and sometimes it pops up, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah.
I don't
You know
really
what you do then to fix this? For one, always just show up. I think you can go to youtube.com/TimcastIRL/live, right?
Yeah.
I just go to my homepage at like 2 minutes, pretty much when you get the live stream going. I can see it here on that monitor. So then I open up YouTube, and usually it's right on the homepage.
Here's what you do. Here's how you solve that. You take the URL right now, and you paste it into Facebook and Twitter and every other social platform, and you say, watch this podcast. If there's one thing that's going to bypass YouTube's algorithmic suppression, it's if you choose to be something more powerful than the algorithm.
Yep.
So it is a shameless plug, but it's also legit. If we only relied on YouTube to promote us and letting everyone know we were doing shows, we're gonna go down in flames.
That's
a good
And
point.
and we don't deserve to survive if that's the case. If nobody actually wants to, spread the word.
Yeah. So on
So if
that
you
though, thanks for showing up.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
thanks for
Hanging out
sharing.
with us.
And hit the like button because that could be a factor. YouTube, like they really do recommend channels that get more likes.
I'll go ahead and hit that like button right
Absolutely.
Do that too. Good idea.
Dark Renji says, Tim, if Cali does try to separate from the U.S., how long would it take for it or is it even possible? Also, I really hope they do screw woke people. You guys hear about this? Gavin Newsom said.
Yeah, I heard about it.
But it's silly.
I agree, it's silly.
People are like, he declared independence. He did describe California as a nation state. He did. I don't know how far you get with that.
They are a pretty big economy.
Yeah.
So.
And he said, as a nation state. So some people tried downplaying it like he was comparing it to the purchasing power of. And it's like, no. He said,
Not that either.
the power of California as a nation state.
Yeah.
Right.
Does that mean they're independent? No. We did see this big wave like 10 years ago where all these states started declaring their sovereignty.
Yeah.
Like asserting their state right to like do their own thing.
Yeah.
I don't think California can actually do it because all the other states have to agree to it.
I think it was when Colorado legalized weed. There was a big like uptick of it because the federal government would come and crack down on some places, but then the Colorado government was like, no, we legalized it. And there was this huge battle.
Yeah.
And then it started going on in California. And I don't know if it's still going on, but
like every state, basically, it was like, we don't care what you're doing. We just want to let you know that we're sovereign. We can do what we want to do. And that was crazy.
That is pretty crazy.
I mean, what's really
it is 50, the United States.
Yeah.
So the states are united, but if they become divided, what's going to happen?
If California wants to leave, then all the other states have to agree to it.
Is that the case?
And so they won't. I mean, actually, well, I think it's like a 2/3 thing.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not entirely sure. I'm not a constitutional scholar, but something to that nature. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Super Bam Bam says that wasn't a cop, that was a zombie, and the dude outran it. There you go.
Cool.
I agree.
Training's paying off.
Cardio.
Yeah, man.
Victor says, hey, Tim and Beanie Crew. The 19 has hit close to me. My sister has been asked to join FEMA and NY and NJ to provide medical relief. Wow.
Oh, wow.
Redbeard says, I would love to see the fight if CA tries to leave the Union. Do you know how much U.S. military force is in CA? Yeah, they wouldn't. It would never happen.
Wouldn't work.
Yeah.
They're gonna be like, first of all, you got our vegetables, and you got our guns.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
Callum says, no offense intended. I swear, I love y'all, but how do y'all plan to defend our rights without owning firearms? Is it down to us AR-15 owners? New Jersey makes it extremely difficult to own firearms. Is the problem. So that's a great point. Rely on.
I don't know.
National Guard?
As far as I can tell, each person should be planning to defend themselves, right?
Yeah.
So AR-15 owners are defending themselves and their families. We're defending ourselves. It's all good as far as I can tell. Yeah, we're independent citizens.
You know what I'm going to do? You know what? I think these guys got it all wrong with AR-15s.
Okay.
While they're all busy with these AR-15s, I'm going to study the blade.
Yes.
Get some ninja stars. No one will ever see it coming. Caltrops.
Grow a big beard.
Grow a big beard.
Yes.
Yeah. Wear all black. Get a
Fedora.
mask. They'll be like, that guy's just in coronavirus protective gear. And they'll go, ha! And I'll throw a star at him.
Katana. Yeah.
That's right.
Yes.
No one will ever see it coming.
Caltrops.
No, it's a really good
We
point,
should get
though.
some shurikens. That'd be cool.
No. we can set up like a throwing board.
Yeah,
like
why
a
not?
dartboard. That'd be
I'm
fun.
down.
That'd be fun.
Shurikens.
There you go. That's our plan.
They're not even a practical weapon.
Nope.
Like maybe in like feudal Japan,
Yeah.
a heavy piece of metal
Too
that was
bad.
sharpened that you could, but it also kind of feels like a waste of the metal. Like, well, I guess if you need to throw it, you need to throw
Well,
it.
if you hit your target and it works, you can just go and collect
Retrieve
it.
it.
No, but if you're like raiding the emperor's throne room, and you got to like go in for a quick feudal Japan assassination.
Well, it's silent and at a distance, so
That's true.
depends. If you're truly a ninja,
Yeah, maybe we're just in trouble. I don't know what'll happen, but that's a good question. Nash says, "Do you want a boogaloo? That's how you start a boogaloo." Oh yeah, definitely. Nava says, "Hope you build a bad A van." Well, I already swore, so or RV and take your crew on the road. Solar, lithium batteries, and mobile internet. Plenty of people do it. I actually have a van conversion all ready to go. Eve Welcome says, "Control the food, control the populace." Could be, yeah. They don't want people growing food.
yep.
Jim Watari says, "The LA County beaches are closed. Too many people were ignoring the social distancing rules." That I get. But why chase after one person?
Because it's closed. Can't make any exceptions, I guess.
I guess.
Same for paddleboarding. That kind of makes sense.
It's just
the no exceptions. It's like, oh, there's one guy, and then the other people see it and start running too, and then all of a sudden there's like 500 people
million.
along
Yeah.
the beach running.
But that's still all they have to do is if there's one person running, they're saying, yeah, whatever. If there's two people running, yeah, whatever. If there's 20 people running, they get a boat, they pull up and they go, like 20 people, like time to break it up. Get everyone off the beach.
Yeah.
And they'll just get off the beach. You don't got to chase after it. It's the weirdest thing.
It is weird.
Yeah, I don't like zero tolerance.
Well, if you're not a cop, you're a criminal.
That's right.
I
So
forgot.
it seems to be.
DC Pagan says, daily reminder that coronavirus tests only test for antibodies. A positive result implies the immunity system is working. Nunya Biz says, think of the budget of modern policing. It's based on fines for traffic, scoff laws, and offensive
Yep.
from a lot of people moving, but no one is going out now. That's why you're seeing police do stupid enforcement. No money means no job.
That's what I was saying earlier.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. They have to. They
Budget
need those.
shortfall.
They need the fines. They need the people to do wrong so they can find them and make money.
It's a
So
business.
They're the business of policing is taking a hit right now.
Yep.
And that makes sense.
Vulgar Display of Power says, talk about people in South Korea that have been cured from COVID and got sick of it again. 94 confirmed cases so far. Oh, man. Yep. That's why they're saying it's like time to lock everyone down forever because this sickness can't... How is it possible that we can't become immune to it?
I don't know.
I don't
That's
know.
weird. I'm not an epidemiologist or a virologist, so I can't comment, but
Same.
it's not something I've ever seen before.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe it's a thing. I
There
can
are
only
a few
assume it is.
diseases that are biphasic.
That
You don't really get immune. It's like encephalitis and some other stuff. Doesn't.
I mean, there's a bunch of stuff we can't fight off. Like you get infections, like in the Wild West, you would die.
Is it would it be biphasic though? If
So
we're
if it
just
has
if
two
we're
phases.
just No, I know
Yeah.
what biphasic means. I'm saying if we just can't be immune to it ever, wouldn't it just be one phase over and over and over again?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe. Yeah,
that's
maybe
that's
you're
what
right.
this would be.
Yeah, I don't
Because
know.
if we can't grow an immunity and stay immune, then
I'll tell you what this is.
that's it.
Human justice. Comeuppance. Our time
Possibly.
has come. There's no cure. Everyone must lock down in their houses.
Yeah.
Forever.
You know, like when if the apocalypse was going to be like a big meteor or like a nuclear bomb, and it's like I had to shelter in place and like hide in the basement.
Yeah.
At least that would be exciting. It's like, oh man, the giant meteor is going to slam into the Atlantic and like vaporize half the planet or something.
Yeah.
Everybody duck and get in the cave.
Will that mining team be able to fly and land on it and blow it up?
Now it's like, oh, my neighbor got a cough. Quick, go in the basement and lock the doors and put on a mask. Oh no, I'm coughing. Oh, it's over. It's much less exciting.
Yeah, it's not exciting.
So it's slow too.
I don't know. We'll see.
Drunk Shovel says, grow victory gardens where seeds are available. Don't let the government control the food. Americans must stay independent. It's in our blood. It certainly is. James Hoover says, Alex Jones was right, LOL. About the fluoride thing. DC Pagan says, zombie apocalypse confirmed. Yeah, the dude in India.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus Barbie. What's your thought on Barbie crucifix controversy? I don't know anything about it.
No idea.
Joe Johnson says, Tim, I guess you never seen Battle Los Angeles. They're in the water. That's why they want to keep the beach clear. Oh, that's right. They're in the water.
Yeah.
Never seen that movie.
The Civic Nationalist says, in the UK, you can get arrested and fined if the police determine that your trip is unnecessary. We live in the police state. Dude, in the UK, Count Dankula got arrested for making a joke on YouTube for his friends.
You went to jail for
Dude,
that.
this is not the moment where like you wake up to the police state. You've been there well before Dankula got arrested. Yeah, y'all need a constitution. I think it was, who was it, Nigel Farage who was calling for that?
Yeah.
Yeah, y'all need a constitution, First Amendment, all that stuff. Rye says, look, the headline for the zombie apocalypse will read, Florida man comes back to life and bites someone to death. Comes back to life.
Mm-hmm.
Dark Sun says, Bill Gates and the elites are all behind this. I don't believe so. I really don't. There's a lot of interesting threads about it, but, you know, extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. Waddle Spire says, greetings from rural Iowa. 80% of our workforce is considered essential because of farming and factories, and we have less than a dozen cases in our county. I'm doing my best to stay connected, but it still feels a world away. Glad you guys can still work, especially because we need food. Morgan Gray says, TDS will lead to zombie apocalypse, liberal media and Hollywood mainly affected. Afflicted. Hutch the Wolf says, if you want an idea of how the early reaction to a zombie apocalypse would be like, read World War Z. Better get listen to it. It's probably the best audiobook out there. Will do. Some guy says, zombophobia is the new trend among alt-right fascists. How zombies are the latest minority under attack.
Yeah, I can see it.
Yep. Jeffrey Jeff says, thanks to the advice to download Doom, Adam. Internet is so bad, I'm still waiting on it to download Super Chat as promised.
Oof. Well, I hope you get to start playing it eventually.
Yeah. iGuy says, there are a lot of counties in CA that have farmers who will burn their crops if we try to secede, along with 5 million gun owners who don't want to live in what they described as a monarchy, and 30 military bases.
Oh, boy.
Wow. All right. I'm going to have to start speeding up because we do have too many Super Chats, so I apologize for those that we miss. James Wallace says, look back at all Pelosi and Schiff's actions, and you asked why would they do these things. They did, and they must be idiots. Then look at the timeline of the virus. They aren't dumb. It was orchestrated. No, I think they're really dumb. Suba Bam Bam says, with the police doing this, are they trying to start an insurgency? That's what I think. It's just grains of sand in a heap, man. One cop says, I'm gonna tell them to stop, and then eventually everyone sees these videos, they get mad about it, and then, you know, breakdown happens. David says, Italy has 1/4 of the cases and more deaths. Europe has a bit less than double of the cases as us, but 3 times the deaths. But somehow we aren't doing well. Media is nuts. Vashd says, look up Columbus, Ohio rally. About 100 people showed up to protest the stay-at-home order here. And yes, someone shut up in a Guy Fawkes mask. Well, there you go. It's already happening, apparently. Brandon Gravely says, Boogaloo, cowabunga it is. Yeah. Harry Toe says, I don't believe it's true, but it feels like the movie V for Vendetta. Doesn't it really?
It really does.
Yeah, you guys got to watch V for Vendetta. Awesome movie. But it really does. You've seen it,
That's
obviously.
a good movie.
Yeah, but it's like the government, or yeah, we talked about it. They make the disease and the vaccine, and then, you know.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's see where we at. J-Max says, Adam isn't playing FF7 right now. I've barely put it down. In Sector 5 at the moment myself. What's Adam's thoughts so far?
I'm playing it right now in here. No, I'm just kidding. I was playing it all day, and it is incredible. It's great. It's it feels like the first game, but with all the details, with all the the emotions that they're going through. It really feels like you're kind of watching the movie, but living the life also through the whole beginning. It's pretty great. I like it. It's a
gameplay.
There's a little cheesy moments in it, but the first game had those moments too. So it's good. So far, I really am enjoying it. Yeah.
Right on.
It's great.
A handy redneck says, "Howdy, Beanie Bro, Soy Jesus, and the voice of Lydia. It is time. Go outside, live your life, and let everything burn. If it is our time to die, better to die free than die cowering in our homes." Well, I think people in New York won't go out and be free, and it's not going to be like them saying, like, we're free. It's going to be them, like, salivating and going crazy, like, thirsting for blood because they're starving to death.
Yeah.
Trapped in a big city that's all concrete where they can't grow food, being trapped in their homes, not allowed to leave, not allowed to buy seeds, can't even grow a garden on your windowsill. People are going to just go nuts. It's not going to be zombies. It's going to be like ideological zombism.
Yeah.
Or whatever you want to call it.
It's a very nice
Zombieism.
positive spin.
Zombism?
Zombism.
Zombism.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
No.
I don't know.
No.
It's going to be people who are just fed up, desperate, and hungry, and they become, cannibals.
Yep.
For that matter, I just watched Book of Eli the other night. Have you seen Book of Eli?
Yeah, it's a great.
That movie's awesome.
And then you got to watch it again.
You got to watch it again. If
gotta
you haven't
watch it
seen it,
again.
I actually, it's a 10-year-old movie. I still don't want to spoil it.
Yeah.
But the scene, like, they do this thing where they're like, show us your hands, because cannibals get the shakes
Yep.
from eating too much human meat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a cool movie.
You never know what you're capable of until you're there. Remember we were talking about this? I was talking about someone corrected me about what was actually going on. It was out in Soviet Union in like 1910 or something, 1915, and people were selling human meat.
Whoa. Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
It was-
remember that?
It wasn't. Yeah, it was the Holodomor or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Ooh, man. Nah,
Never
I'm sorry,
know.
dude. I'm not eating human meat. Not gonna happen.
Yeah.
I will swear upon my soul, it's never gonna happen. Superman, not like the guy from CNN. What's his face?
Yeah, he
Oh,
tried brain or
yeah.
something.
Reza Aslan.
Yeah. Oh.
He'll never live that down. I think it really messed him up. I do, because he's become a really awful person.
Really?
And I think it's not that he ate human meat, human brain.
Okay.
I think it's that he's been shunned so much, like.
Because of it.
Yeah, and so he's got friends who are in high places, so he still gets to exist in society as like a wealthy individual, and he's super rich. But he gets torn up all the time as the guy who ate brain. And so you see his reaction to things, like with the Covington kids. He's like, I want to punch that. He's like, have you ever seen a more punchable face? And posts a picture of a 14-year-old kid. It's like, dude, chill out. But I think it's like,
Anger
I
issues.
think it's like, it's almost like he was canceled. Like when that segment came out where he ate brain, everyone was like, you are a disgusting piece of human filth.
Yep.
And he'll never escape. He is trapped in this world. And it was funny, I was talking to somebody who knows
He
him.
ate human brain. What do you expect, man?
Yeah.
So check it out. I was talking to somebody who knows him,
Okay.
and they brought him up, and I was like, "What? Isn't he a cannibal?" And they were like, "He is not a cannibal." And I was like, "He ate human meat. Yeah, he ate a little bit of brain for a show." And I'm like, "That makes him a cannibal."
Yeah.
Yep.
They argued, "No, cannibals like are people who eat human meat. It's like a thing they do." And I was like, "So you're saying to me if like an old dude diddled a kid just one time, you're not going to call him out as a pedo?"
Yeah.
And they were, well, I'm like, yeah, Reza Aslan ate brain. He's a cannibal.
Yeah.
Yep.
We're done here.
Yeah.
There's
Conversation over.
There's no, he's almost a cannibal. No, he literally did it.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think that really messed him up.
Yeah.
Because it even looked like what we're saying about it.
Yep.
He can't escape it. Could you imagine being trapped in that world? You have to change your name, change your appearance, give up everything. You're always going to be the dude who ate human on TV.
This is a public service announcement brought to you by me. Don't eat human meat.
Oh, great advice.
You know what's really crazy about it is that I think this was like a CNN show, and what they claim is that he was scared for his life and kind of like forced to do it because the tribalists who made him like who are cooking the brain were like dangerous.
Okay.
You know what I think the real reason why they did it was?
Why?
They wanted to be Vice.
Ah. Yeah, okay.
Dude, Vice had a segment where Ryan Duffy goes down to I can't remember, like Colombia or something, and he's trying out bulletproof clothing, and they literally shoot him.
Dang.
And the bullet just flops down. And he's like, wow. It was a really big, thick, like trench coat. I barely remember the episode. But they also did the scopolamine thing. You know what scopolamine is? It's this drug where they like blow it in your face, and then it turns you into like a mindless drone.
Yeah, that does whatever. Okay,
Yep.
I know of this. Right.
So Vice does all these like dark, edgy documentaries that were extremely popular on YouTube
Right.
when they did that series. And then they get HBO and they get all these Emmys. And then everyone and their mother wanted to be Vice. I'm not kidding.
I know.
It's why I got hired at
I
Fusion.
lived through it. Yeah, I watched it.
So Fusion tries poaching me, and they're like, we want to do what they do and all this stuff. We want to, yeah. And I'm like, yeah, sure. I got you, man. And then they quickly changed their tune. But I actually got called down to a meeting with a bunch of people, and they said, how do we do what Vice does? And I had some choice words for these corporations. But this was around the same time CNN was trying to do these verite like travel doc stuff. Dude eats brain. And it was really obvious. I mean, for me, as somebody who worked for Vice, I was like, it's kind of like if you're, I don't know how many people can relate to this, but you're like in school and there's that one dorky kid who's kind of like, a loser who's desperately trying to fit in.
Yeah.
And so like you're sitting with your friends and all of a sudden he walks up and says something really awkward and you're sitting there like, all right, dude, yeah, sure. Anyway, and then you like turn back to your friends.
Yeah.
That's what it was. Could you imagine like destroying your life because you were trying to chase after what you thought was cool? For that matter, could you imagine eating human brain?
Nope.
Yeah.
Neither of those things.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I'm good. I have no interest.
No.
A lot of the media that we get today is like that, though. Like,
Wannabe.
Well, you're familiar with, well, it's not just that. It's like chasing after what they think will be the hot thing.
Right.
And so Reza ends up becoming, I guess, just like fodder for the machine. Because, CNN doesn't care.
Yep.
There's like, cancel this show. That was gross.
Yeah,
His life's over.
that didn't work. Well, we'll just fire him and move on.
But if you look at other companies, like Mike.com is a really good example.
Okay. I don't know him.
Mike.com started out as kind of a libertarian, like seriously, like pro Ron Paul-ish.
Okay.
And then became super social justice. It's just because they're chasing after what they think the next hot thing is. And they will sacrifice and burn down anybody. So actually, interestingly enough, like Joe Rogan was talking about this on a recent podcast with, I can't remember the guy's name. But he was saying that, CNN's doing the things they're doing, Orange Man Bad and all this stuff, because they're desperately trying to survive.
Yeah.
You look back to what they did with the brain eating, and it's like, yeah, they've been desperately trying to figure out what they think people would be into. They're not cool. They're doing weird stuff.
Yeah, they're trying.
But it's not just about them. It's like the whole landscape is kind of derivative of what we've seen from that moment. Vice had early success, but Vice's success was not, in my opinion, based upon actual popular ideas. Like it wasn't based upon, how do I say, success. It was built upon the perception of success. People were absolutely convinced that Vice was cool, so everyone wanted to be Vice. And now Vice is like, Disney's written off their entire investment, saying it's worthless, $500 million in the toilet.
Really?
Yeah. So like Disney invested like $500 million. It was like 400, and another company invested like 70, and then they merged. And then they wrote like last year, we now see that investment as nothing, completely written off. We're never getting back because it was an illusion.
Yep.
Which is so it's funny because you have companies like Mike. They started, I don't know exactly how they started or what the deal was, but they started something like early 2010s. And Ron Paul was really big. The Ron Paul Love Revolution of 2008. Have you ever seen the Ron Paul and like the Revolution, but then it says love backwards?
Yeah. Okay.
It was huge on the internet. And so right now you've got, Ron Paul recently said something like Dr. Fauci needs to be fired. He's trying to take control of everything and stuff like this. Reddit is tearing him apart.
Fauci or
no,
Ron?
Ron Paul. And someone commented, this is funny, remember when we all loved Ron Paul? And I'm curious, like, why did that change?
Yeah.
Ron Paul didn't change. He's still saying the same old, same old.
Been a little crazy.
Well, they comment like, we grew up. Okay, you grew up. Mike.com, my understanding, and I could be wrong about this, started out with some very libertarian stories. And then over time, just trying to figure out what would get the most traffic, turned into a social justice rage bait outlet. The dudes who were running it were like apparently libertarian bros, as far as I was told by many other people.
Yeah.
So this is what's actually driving politics in this country. Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, you get it's all fake, I guess. So I'm curious.
What's real nowadays?
Yeah, nothing. Like this story we're about to get into, and we'll jump back to Super Chats real quick, about the guy who's saying like let it all burn. I don't believe any of it. I don't believe that it's real. And that's why
let's get to this.
Well, let me.
about it.
I got one more point. I mentioned this in a couple of my videos. I mentioned it yesterday, and I say it, and I have no problem saying it. They pretend to be angry, so we pretend to be angry back.
Right.
Like, I don't know. Sometimes I read this stuff, and I'm like, it really does bug me when the media lies about this. And then people make YouTube videos where they're like, Tim Pool's wrong. And I'm like, do you really care that I care about what the people in these news companies are doing and saying? Or is it just performative art to fit your audience?
Yep. That's what that's instantly what I go in my head. Yep, that's what it is.
Like eating brain.
Catering to the masses, essentially.
Yeah. Like eating brain.
I guess.
They thought they were going to get this big hit. That's what, I've been in those meetings, man, where people are like, dude, I have this idea. We're going to do this crazy thing and it'll work. And I've successfully navigated away from all of the crazy people who have done the stupid things like brain eating. Or like I've been in the meetings where they've pitched stuff that's just factually wrong, but they don't care. Mm-hmm. And I've just refused. I'm not going to go down that road because they're not thinking about the long-term results of what this is going to do to them.
Yeah.
Like one example is like I was at Fusion and there was this fake outrage over Ghost in the Shell. Do you know what Ghost in the Shell is?
Yeah.
So they were like, ooh, this is really crazy. Like it's an anime, and they're doing a live action, but they cast a white woman to play Major Kusanagi, I think the name is Motoko. And they're like, whoa, wow, man, total whitewashing. And then I was like, actually, I'm kind of a fan of Ghost in the Shell, and I don't think that actually makes sense. Like, an aspect of Ghost in the Shell is that by cyberizing your brain and getting prosthetic bodies, you transcend race and gender and all these things. And like, it's actually one of the questions like asked in Standalone Complex of Major, why does she prefer female bodies? And I'm like, that's actually a better question about like, I guess maybe like gender identity. And they were like, no, we think racism. And I'm like, you guys don't know anything about this show.
No.
And so that's the flack they ended up getting when they write these fake articles is that they're not actually talking about things they know and are passionate about. They're trying to figure out how they're trying to pretend to be relevant.
Yeah.
And so I guess to kind of wrap up that idea, you end up with a dude going to India and eating brain, and then it makes him go insane. And then he goes on Twitter, and all he is just foaming at the mouth, screeching at everybody. He's full of hate and vile brain-eating madness.
To be fair, lots of them are like that. I don't think you could blame that on the brain eating.
No, I do.
Oh, okay.
I think it's the brain eating.
Really? You think
Yeah.
so?
That was the catalyst.
Wasn't he like he was like a scholar on religion or something?
I think he ruined his reputation, realized what he'd done, came back and was like, well, I have to be a super social justice warrior now, or no one will ever listen to me again.
No, I think it's that, when you go onto Twitter and everyone hates you
Mm-hmm.
and is pointing their finger at you and laughing at you, you become resentful and angry and you hate everyone. And so he just goes on Twitter and he just scowls. And like he had a show, it was about religion. That's how he ended up eating the brain.
Okay.
It was supposed to be like a serious religious scholar. Now he's become this putrid, vile, hunched demon who just vomits on people on Twitter. Like he went from being prestigious to just...
Yes.
That's what happens when you eat brain, man.
I know.
I guess so.
So don't do that.
Don't eat brain. Do not do it. All right, we'll grab some more super chats. Super Bam Bam says, please, government sama, inject me with your hot sticky vaccine. Oh, yeah. Howard A. Tree Song says, Tim stood shirtless, tout, proud skin, the color of fresh cream, 5'10 of world-wise, apocalypse-ready flesh. Wow, Adam breathed, eyes roving up and down. You're really nipping out. I'm only 5%, was the husky reply. I don't understand it, but I am entertained. So
more,
I appreciate
more fan fiction.
More fan fiction.
Oh, I love it. Oh, no.
Keith Rogers says, good thing about living in a small town in Alabama. During lockdown, spent 2 weeks on the lake fishing. Our law enforcement were our high school friends.
Nice.
New York style lockdown would not fly here. Stay safe. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like you're accountable to your community.
Yeah.
If you went out and you were like, get out of the lake, they'd be like, shut up, Bill. Like, all right,
Come
fine.
fish with us.
Yeah, come fish with us.
Yeah.
No, you, Bill, you come here. It's like, go home. You come fish.
It's like I'm standing on my porch
Yeah, right.
fishing. Like, what are you talking about?
That's why I've been like, just like going on Zillow and being like West Virginia, like all these Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I do not want to be by a city. Like, just
I agree.
every day there's a reason to be like, you don't want to be here. You got to fend for yourself and be self-sustainable, but part of a community. Being
That's the key.
crammed into a cubicle, surrounded by a bunch of people and fighting for space is
Humans have survived because of community, not by being by themselves.
But it's a hybrid.
Working on their own thing.
Yeah.
It's not why we're here still.
But it's a mix. You find a place.
It's a mix, but more and more nowadays is the solo greediness that's taking over. Because look at what we have. We have everything. It's easy to just go off on your own. And we're taught to move out of the house, get your own place, get in debt, and then live there till you die.
New York is the it's like the digitization of culture, of society.
Okay.
It's like you've got little cubicles. Everyone lives in their little box. They don't talk to each other. They're just a little block in New York. Mm-hmm. They know a few people who live in various parts of the city. How people don't interact with each other, it's busted. It's broken. You go out to the middle of nowhere, you're likely not going to interact with a lot of people either. You know,
almost the same though.
But I gotta say, like, I've talked to my neighbors more than I've ever talked to a neighbor I've ever had.
What, here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because we all live next to each other and we're on one block, and people say like, "Howdy, neighbor, you just moved in," and I'm like, "Howdy."
Yeah,
and then we talk. They explain like, "Oh, so I used to do this." When I first moved in, I had a dude pull up in the truck, pulls in front of the house, and he goes like, "How's it going?" He's like, "See, just moving in. Yeah, we knew the people who lived here before," and we talked for a little bit, and we ended up. I was skating. We ended up talking for like an hour with a dude in his truck, just like sitting there leaning out with his, and we had a conversation. We talked politics.
Cool.
It's a very moderate neighborhood.
Okay.
Never happened in New York.
Never.
If you're in New York and you like are walking downstairs and like you walk outside and there's somebody from like the next building over and you're like, "Hey, how's it going, neighbor?" They're gonna be like, "Hi, I'm gonna get out of here." And
yeah, I lived in a predominantly black area, and actually my neighbors were so racist. I'm dead serious. I my windows would be open and I would be listening to them sitting on the front porch just complaining about white people and everything that was their fault. I mean, I don't want to get into it, like sure there's a lot of issues with, race in nowadays, but it's like I didn't want to like go say hi to them after that. It's like, "Hi, I'm your white neighbor. I'm not racist or anything, but you sure seem to already hate me. Great.
Nice to meet you."
Yeah, it was weird.
well, I
didn't really know what to do with that.
Have you not got the memo, Adam?
What?
Only white people can be racist.
Oh,
that's
right.
what they actually say.
or it's racist, right?
Well, they're
like if I say that's not true,
they will they will
Mm-hmm.
clip that soundbite of you and say like, far right Adam Krigler, blah blah blah.
Far right.
I'll tell you
Adam
what.
Krigler.
No, you know what they'll write? Someone's gonna write an article saying like
funny.
proof that vegans can be far right racists.
Yeah.
And they'll use that clip of you complaining about black people being racist or something.
It's just like there's racists in every race. There's cool people in every race. It's so silly when people try to like put you in a box. This is what you are now forever.
Remember when that was the liberal position?
Is that what?
That's a conservative position.
Now?
Yes.
Yeah, it's changed.
Huh.
Yep.
Are you saying I'm conservative now?
If you, as a New York,
Whoa.
you're from, check this out. This is hilarious. You're from Chicago.
Okay.
You lived in New York for how many years?
16,
in
17
like Brooklyn,
years? 16 years, I
in
guess.
Brooklyn, maybe mostly.
No, I would say equally between Manhattan, Queens, and Brooklyn.
This is why Donald Trump wins. We live next to each other in New York. We went skating. We played card games.
Okay.
New York is not a conservative place.
No.
We were very much so lefties, and that was an idea that the left used to have, that there's good and bad people of all types and all colors and all creeds.
That's true. I've been across the world, and that's the truth. There's
And that's
cool
what
people
and
everywhere I go.
And now guess what? Because you've said that, and the story you just described about the black people in your neighborhood being racist.
Yeah. No, not all of them.
I'm not saying all of them.
Specifically my neighbors.
I'm saying your neighbors, right? You were like they were racist.
Yeah.
They hated white people.
Yeah.
Right, of course. Any race can be racist.
Yeah.
It's in the definition. Well, according to mainstream progressive like leftism,
Okay.
you are a racist for thinking that because you're an oppressor, and you don't understand. See, they're resisting oppression.
Okay.
They argue that racism is prejudice plus power. Therefore, they can't be racist. They're allowed to discriminate against you based on the color of your skin because you're an oppressor, because you're white and you're a male of all things.
I guess so, huh?
Yep. So
Yeah.
what used to be the liberal position
Okay.
is now considered conservative. So conservatives have become this really big tent
Yeah.
of former liberals.
I guess
And
so.
So what do you think's going to happen when you've got people who you lived in New York City, like the biggest liberal stronghold in the world, in the country. I'm not going to say world because it's about our politics.
Yeah.
And now you're holding a position that is more aligned with the right than the left. Yeah, I think
I'm shocked.
even Joe Biden is pushing further left. on these ideas.
Yeah, I don't understand what he's doing.
Well, they've become the left has adopted racism as like a core tenet.
I guess so.
It's been growing. It's
Yeah.
been getting worse and worse, and now it's at this point where
I'm so sick of racism as a whole, because it's like it's 2020. Like everybody bleeds the same color. Everybody
Yep.
can be an a-hole if they're in a bad mood. You never know what someone's going through. You know, it's like empathy needs to go up through the roof across the board. And that's really the issue, is no one has empathy anymore.
And I tell you what, if there's a lot of factors that cause the modern left to be what it is today.
Mm-hmm.
But I think one of the problems right now as to why this kind of stuff gets ignored is that people, like us that lived in Brooklyn, that were kind of liberal.
Yeah.
I would say it's not necessarily fair to, well, I've been active in news, but more so in the past few years, politics. There are people just like us, we hang out with every day in Brooklyn,
Yeah.
who agree with us on all these policies. They don't watch the news. They don't engage. They don't vote. They're not paying attention.
Yep.
And so they end up voting for these people who are overt racists.
Yep.
And then don't know or care.
They don't even care.
Like, Bernie Sanders in 2016 said white people don't know what it's like to be poor.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
And he said,
It's like there's race in general. There's poor people all around the world. How does that make any sense at all?
Yeah, and because whites are a majority, because there are poor white people, lots of white people are poor. And
Yeah.
it's so silly to say that there are no poor white
I'm backing
You
this
know what?
up.
That proves to me
I'm backing this up.
he's in a little bubble and,
Yep.
and has no idea.
No, he does know. He lied. I'm backing this up.
Oh,
Pull up the
okay.
display.
Here,
So it's a
here.
bald-faced lie then.
Let's
So
see.
I'm doing this because I'm tired of people telling me that Bernie never said that. Bernie Sanders said, when you're white, you don't know what it's like to be poor. PolitiFact rated it false. Bernie Sanders said it on the stage. He said, quote, when you're white, you don't know what it's like to be living in a ghetto. You don't know what it's like to be poor. You don't know what it's like to be hassled when you walk down the street or you get dragged out of a car, Sanders said. Several readers asked us to take a closer look at Sanders' comments that when you're white, you don't know what it's like to be poor, and they read it as false. Why? Because white Americans make up the largest percentage of people. I'm sorry, not the largest percentage, the largest number of people in poverty. When you look at the population density to poverty, there are more people who are African Americans are more likely to be impoverished, but there are still about twice as many white people who are in poverty. Why would Bernie Sanders say that?
Pandering?
Pandering, because he knows. Because he's from Vermont.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
He used to be moderate on gun rights, pretty much in favor of, because these blue states up in the Northeast are pro 2A.
Yep.
He started pandering. And so I do see people like, Joe Rogan, for instance. Joe Rogan's fantastic, but he did say in that one, now famous segment, Bernie's been consistent all this time.
Yeah.
How are you going to take a dude from the Northeast, which is predominantly white, who's fought for union rights, and it's all about, civil rights, have him come out and say this and then argue that he's been consistent? This to me was like, I was a big fan of Bernie, and then I watched that debate and I was like, what?
Yeah.
It's like, whoa, he's embracing racism, man.
Oh, man.
Yeah. These are the leaders you get when you don't pay attention. And then how many people do you know in New York were like big fans of Bernie even to this day?
Not many, honestly.
Really?
Yeah.
They banned it? They walked away or what?
No, I honestly, my crew are skaters or,
Yeah,
gamers. I don't know. It's just,
Dude, I was watching skate videos on Instagram.
Okay.
It's like it's what dominated skate videos. And
true.
skaters were always kind of lefty libertarian. I remember watching this documentary where it was these skateboarders talking about how the perfect thing about skateboarding is that racism is completely erased.
That's true.
It doesn't matter what your race is, where you come from, what your religion is. It's all about the tricks. It's all about the culture, the community.
And your flow.
Everyone's cool with each other. If you show up, nobody is questioning your race. They're questioning your tricks, your style. You talk big game. Let's see that.
No. No one's questioning, period. It's you're in the fold.
Right.
You show up on a board, you're in the fold. Doesn't matter what
Right.
you look like, what you're wearing. It
Right.
does not matter. If
What-
you're
what-
there
what-
trying, you're in the fold.
What I mean about questioning is they're not going to be like, oh, you're this race. They're going to be like, yo, bro, I saw, I heard you got that mad tray flip.
Yeah.
I heard you got that tray flip down El Toro.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're going to be like, oh, I almost did. And it's like, whoa. But I'm watching. So that's like, I grew up with that. And it was pretty lefty back in the day. And I've actually interviewed a bunch of skateboarders it was a couple of years ago I did this, and this was like 2-3 years ago maybe, they were Bernie supporters. And like I went to a skate park, asked people, and they were like, yeah, I'm down with Bernie. Seems like a really cool guy. I was watching a skate video today, and this pro skateboarder in his clip on a mini ramp, Gadsden flags. You know what that is?
No.
Don't tread on me.
Oh, really?
Libertarian.
Love it.
And there are some really high profile pros who follow me and hit me up all the time. And it's kind of crazy because these are people I used to look up to when I was younger. Now sending liking my posts and like hitting me up, and they are no longer aligned with whatever the left used to be. Skateboarders, man. And that's the weird thing. It's like these people try to accuse me of being, right wing or conservative or whatever. And it's like, dude, are you admitting that you lost me? Because I was a street punk on the south side of Chicago skateboarding.
Yeah.
And you can get mad at me and you can accuse me of all these things, but you gotta recognize what you've done to where you're losing the skateboarders, the anti-authoritarian lefty urban dwellers, people who like.
I mean, if I were to guess, libertarian makes more sense to me for skateboarders. Leave me alone. Let me skate.
But you can be left libertarian or right libertarian.
Yeah. Okay. I guess.
So
True.
it's like hippies on a farm versus a small business entrepreneur who's running his own skate shop.
Okay.
Yeah. So for me, I grew up like I've always been very. It's funny too because a lot of people in American politics don't understand how like the political spectrum works. Basically, libertarian leaning towards cooperation is left. Libertarian leaning towards competitive markets is right.
Okay.
So if you're like, hey man, you do your thing, I'll do mine. I'm gonna sell skateboards and run a business. Then that's more like leaning right.
Okay.
But if you were like, hey, let's all rent a house together and we can pitch in to buy a bunch of skateboards, so it'll be cheaper for us.
What's dead center between that?
Just the balance between both. Like you could open a so here's the thing that I used to do with my friends.
Okay.
We would order bulk skateboards because if we all pitched in, it would be like $13 a board instead of 30 or 40.
Mm-hmm.
That's like a lefty thing to do. It's like, hey guys, if you pitch in, we can order 20 boards. Everybody gets two. It'll be $26. You'll get two boards instead of spending 30 at the mall when you needed a board.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we'd all pitch in, or we would do something where it's like everybody pitches in to rent a space. It's like we want to
should get a Timcast board.
To make skateboards.
Cool. Yeah.
If I could get like, I don't know, Deluxe to make boards, I'd totally be down. But that's my point. No, there are a lot of skateboarders who are totally right libertarian as well.
Okay.
But I think that's maybe not necessarily when I grew up, I didn't know very many people who were overtly political in skateboarding.
Same.
Very much about freedom.
Mm-hmm.
Today, everyone's way more political. And it seems like more of the skateboarders are right libertarian, like very, Gadsden flags, don't tread on me.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Skateboarders want to be left alone to do their thing.
Yep. They want to skate.
This is what you get with political pandering.
Yeah.
And like you were saying just a minute ago, that, everybody can be racist. It doesn't matter who you are. That's exactly the message I got when I was a kid growing up watching these pro skateboarders and how they viewed the world.
Yeah.
And it was very strange to me going to Occupy Wall Street and hearing these people say, in fact, that's wrong, Tim. Only white people are racist. And I was like, well, that can't be right. Like,
no.
I grew up in an area of Chicago that was like it was mixed race.
Yeah.
We had, Latino, we had black, we had white, we had immigrants from Eastern Europe.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a lot of people who hated a lot of people,
Yep.
made assumptions about everybody. And we hung out with a bunch of different people. And I couldn't understand it. I was like, how can you tell me this? White people don't know what it's like to be poor. The neighborhood I grew up in was white trash.
Yep.
Like people were ODing.
Yep.
But we were standing right alongside the minorities. And that was a weird thing to me, too, because he says, you don't know what it's like to get hassled walking down the street or dragged out of your car. I'm like, what? That happened to me a couple times.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Well, I guess I'm a minority, so sure, whatever. But my friends, I knew friends like the one dude I lived with who was a white dude. We had cops kick our door in at gunpoint and give us the business. It's like Bernie Sanders had to know that he was full of it when he said this. And this was in 2016.
Yeah.
And so I've been watching this happen, the political pandering and the de-evolution, I guess, or the excising of the rational liberal mind from the left. That's what they say now. The left is no longer liberal. It's they kicked everybody out.
Yeah. Where are the liberals then? They're in the center.
Well, so like
center left, but that looks like right if you're way over there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you're on the far left,
Yep.
everyone's to your right. That's
Everybody's
actually
to the
the
right.
joke. It's like They have the political compass, and the top left, the authoritarian left, is hope and change, and then everything else is far right. And it is. And you know, one of the craziest things, I always tell people to do this. If you haven't done this, take the political compass test. I think it's politicalcompass.org. Now, Ben Shapiro's had some choice words for it, saying it's like left-leaning, it's biased.
Okay.
Take it anyway and see what it says. You know, it doesn't mean it's true. But what's really fascinating is I've done this several times where I've told people, take the test, and they're adamant they're conservative. They take it, and they're left libertarian. Because the mainstream has become so far left, they think they're conservatives.
Right.
Like everything you said about anybody can be racist.
Yeah.
I assure you there's many people who feel the exact same way,
Okay.
consider themselves conservatives because they feel that way.
Right.
And
All right. But
so
they're not. They're libertarian.
Well, you go on YouTube.
Probably left libertarian.
Well, they might be, or they might be centrists.
I think I was like right in the middle, just north of you. Like you were actually lower than I was. On the scale.
I was further left and a little bit more left and a little bit more libertarian than you were.
Yeah.
You were like traditional liberal.
Yeah, right in the middle.
I was like fairly socialist.
That's where I would say
and it's funny.
would be, yeah.
I did the compass test, and it was titled like Tim Pool's a communist because my results were like far left libertarian.
Yeah, like
funny.
you've been saying all along. You were
I
never
know.
lying.
I took the test, and I'm like, here's the answer to the grade. Like, here's the question. Here's how I feel about it, and here's why I'm like explaining all my answers. But to these people, it's all about tribe, I guess.
Yeah.
Or it's ideology. Like what Bernie Sanders said about white people being poor has nothing to do with cooperation and freedom.
Yeah.
At all. It is just racism. I oppose that.
What was his point? What was he was trying to do, you think?
He was trying to get votes
from the non-white,
from the activist
poor
base of the Democratic Party.
Here's
how I felt. I was at I'm pretty sure there's this guy, his name is he's got a podcast called Quite Frankly. I'm pretty sure I was at his studio and we were watching this debate in 2016. I could be wrong. Maybe I'm misremembering. But I swear at the time, here's what I felt. Watching Bernie Sanders say that, the first thing I thought was he knows he's lying and he's really struggling to say these words. Like it looked like he knew it wasn't true.
Yeah, you can
and he
tell
was breaking
sometimes when
himself.
someone's lying. And they're just like fighting it, but they got to say it, I guess.
But it wasn't so much that he was like lying. It was that he was struggling to say it because he knew he was crossing a line. He knew this was the point where he was becoming that machine, the fake politician.
Yeah.
I remember hearing him talk about gun rights, and he says it was an urban versus rural debate. You know, it's different in cities as it is in the country. And I was like, my man.
That's a good point.
And that's like,
totally
how do we rectify this?
Yeah.
Today, he's like on stage saying like, no, the NRA hates me. I'm not about that. And I'm like, whoa, what happened, bro?
Yeah.
On immigration? A year ago,
Yeah, I didn't understand
he's like,
that either.
we can't have open borders. My God, there's too many poor people. Today, we need to decriminalize it. Let everyone come and get free health care. Break up CBP. And I'm like, what?
Nah.
It's all the same game, man. I can't stand these people. I also can't stand talking about it if we don't have to. So, we're supposed to talk about this guy who wants to watch the world burn. So
We should do that.
Oh, we haven't even gotten to that.
we
yet.
haven't
we
even
haven't
gotten to
touched
it.
on it. All right.
Well, that means we're doing well, I guess.
Just chilling.
You're ranting today.
It's Friday.
Yeah.
evening.
Well, it's
You
because
do.
you brought up that point, and I was like, oh, you got me going.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Sure did.
It's my fault. Blame me, everybody.
Stacy, we'll try and grab these super chats. Stacy Ellis says, just because you swore, $20. Appreciate it.
Nice.
thank you.
All right. Get
Mr.
something out of it.
Mr. Nice Guy says, I'm afraid we may already be at the point of no return. The totalitarian tiptoe tends to sneak its way into society. By the time we catch it, it may be too late. Keep up the great work y'all do. Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
Snafu says, how can you trust a guy, Fauci, who is paid by Big Pharma and who has worked in the government since Clinton's administration? Everybody gets a grain of salt, I'm sorry, that's the wrong way to phrase it. Everybody gets a grain of sand, right? How many grains of sand make a heap? I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. I'm not gonna start necessarily believing every word they say, but I'll hear what they have to say.
I'm going to do my own research.
Right, in the long term. Rar Face, thanks for becoming a member.
Thank you.
Matthew Hunter says, how much do I need to donate to get you guys to learn how to use Skype? I want to see some guests already. It's not so much that we don't know how to use it. It's two things. There's a weird problem with it on this computer. Like when I was doing the Skype with Crowder, it was weirdly choppy. Like the frame rate fell apart. I don't know what it is. Whatever. I could probably fix it. It's also because I don't want Skype. We were flying people out. We were like setting up legit interviews with people and like.
We'll bring it back.
It is coming back.
I'm not saying
I'm excited.
I'm not saying we can't do Skype. I'm just saying I was trying to resist it.
Well, once they prove to us that they have their immunity card.
That's right. All they have to do is show us that.
They got to show us their immunity card, and then
Yes.
we'll allow them into our house.
We'll allow them into our domicile.
Muffin says, I'm a Subverse investor, and he asked a similar question, that looking for an update on Subverse. I will definitely reach out to the team literally after this is over, and we'll get something set up for everybody. Perpetual Punster says, Tim, Soy Jesus, free market capitalism doesn't include bailouts. And Lydia, how many skill points did you put into video switching? Damn, you're good. There you go.
She's on it.
Carl Schneider says, wishing you all happiness and health from the United States, California. There you go. Skip Kishi says, Tim, they want your DNA because they will copyright it and then charge you money for DNA therapies in the future. Wow, I hope not.
Yeah, it's frightening.
That would not be nice.
Che Diem says, it's because they were selling the DNA information to health insurance providers. They would then either hike up the cost or deny you coverage if they were able to see you have a genetic predisposition for a certain disease. Oof.
Interesting.
David Banning says, hi, Tim. My question is, what do you think of the burden of unemployment falling on essential works and possible tax increases to help support unemployed Americans? Also, what are your thoughts on embryonic stem cells antibodies? I don't know enough about those to actually answer for the most part. I can answer when it comes to tax increases for unemployed Americans. We already have unemployment for Americans. Whenever we create these programs, we end up just slapping Band-Aids on them instead of fixing them. So I would prefer to solve these issues instead of, just increase taxes again and then pay more and then increase taxes again and just keep recycling these programs. I would say that I lean left because I'm totally in favor of unemployment and welfare, food benefits, and all these things. The problem is that when they get dirty and broken, we don't fix them.
Yeah.
We just dump money on it and it never gets fixed. So
yeah, and there's many situations where someone will get used to it and just keep using it.
Right.
To keep,
you get addicted to it.
Yeah.
Or you get trapped in it.
Get used to it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Or you
it's
get
easy to
trapped.
get stuck,
That's a good point. Yeah. Even worse.
David Carpenter says, Tim, you finally said what I've been thinking for months. Biden is the numbing drug the corporations are pushing on the populace. Go back to when everything was fine before the Orange Man. Truth wouldn't matter. Thoughts? Yeah, maybe. Maybe that's it. It's just, don't care about Joe Biden. Just, he's going to quiet everything down. You can cover your ears, put on your hamburger earmuffs, and close your eyes. Just ignore everything. Yeah.
Smart.
Sumotacular says, one negative I can think of on the DNA topic. Who owns your genetic data at that point? If it's sold to a pharmaceutical company and they develop something based off of your code somehow, shouldn't you be compensated?
I guess
man, I wouldn't want someone using my DNA for anything. But
yeah, same here.
I don't know. What if they used all of human DNA to give people superpowers?
Who knows?
Yeah, it would never happen. They'd probably use it to subjugate you.
No one would know about it.
Right. The Antonio says, hi, Tim. Have researched anything about the Stanford epidemiologists with the alternative theory about the death rate? If they are right, and I think they are looking at the data, this could be a game changer. I'll look into it.
Yeah, I don't know about it.
Kevin says, keep the conversation going. This way, it's lovely. Self-gratification and the consequences. We all have to make sacrifices. Working well is my sacrifice and living strong is the consequence. Religion over PlayStation. Tim Clark says, one concern employers owning your DNA is in the future, we may be able to tell how long a person will live, how long until age-related diseases start, when they get cancer, etc., allowing for gene-based discrimination in the workforce. I mean, but that would be illegal. We'd have civil rights law. Grizzly Jack says, I think there needs to be a YouTube competitor, like Pepsi and Coke, Apple and Microsoft. Do you think starting a YouTube competitor would be like David versus Goliath? Do you think a video website can be just as successful? No, because YouTube isn't just a video provider. They've condensed a bunch of different markets like ad agencies. Not only are they the ad buyer, they're the ad seller and the video hosting and the censor. They have centralized everything to the point where Vimeo can't succeed because they don't do the partner program the same way. So the economic incentives aren't there. It's much more difficult to start a business. While YouTube has made things easy, they've made it impossible for people to compete, and then they can shut out anybody who dare oppose them.
Frightening.
Mr. Paul says, government could be implanting nanotechnology in you and track without cell phone. Feed is stuttering, jumping. Have you checked out nanodust? Could be in the decontamination of areas. Skate safely, dudes. Justin 4 says, unjust laws should be disregarded. XGo says, can you create a hand signal to notify us if you're ever caught up by CIA to promote a false story? Maybe you roll up your sleeve and sigh. I would quit, hands down. If I had government people come to me and say, here's your story, I'd be like,
You'd
nope.
never see Tim again.
You would never see me again. It would just be over.
Black bagged.
Yeah. Sorry, later. Or, they'd probably just leave, But I think the reason why that would never happen is they would know if they came to me and said, we want you to push propaganda, I would leak it in 2 seconds. I'd be like, let me just post that to Twitter real quick and let everyone know that you're here.
Yeah.
I mean, as soon as the car pulled up, I'd be live streaming like, hey, look, a bunch of, men in black with, have come here with
Black
briefcases.
SUVs.
Just letting you know in case I'm never seen again.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Jordan said, well, I mean, I will also say, though, that being said, I am very pro-America. And I think there's something about pulling the wool over the American people's eyes, which I'm never going to do. But I'd be willing to help the government in efforts that would pertain to like protecting the Constitution, saving American lives. So it's like, I don't know what that might be. But the point is, if somebody invaded the shores of America, I'll be on the front line defending America for sure.
Right.
If someone came to me and said, we want you to lie to the American people, I'd be like, no, I believe in defending the American people. I believe in the Constitution. I wouldn't do that. But,
I think the American people can handle it.
Can handle
the truth.
Right. I agree. I think the truth is the easiest way. There's people who just think you have to lie. It's
yeah.
You trust in people.
Yeah.
Look, I understand people can be dumb.
It's like,
but if you give someone a simple, I guess the problem is they're evil people who anchor people into stupid ideas.
Yep.
So it makes it difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Jordan
says, Mr. Poole, they have vehicle checkpoints here in the Philippines. If anybody breaks quarantine without good reason, they're shot. That's what I've heard. James says, blades and starts. All right. Sword of Damocles, Texas Sheriff's Deputy here. You will find the political structure of a city-state determines how authoritarian a police force is. Spirit of the law versus letter of the law. Totally. Dylan Nelson says, when you first started this channel, you claimed you would be eating pie. Why not now? Buy yourselves a pie and enjoy. My favorite is pumpkin. What's yours? We don't have pie, but we do have some of that Chuck Schumer cheesecake. Chuck Schumer did that bit where he was like, I have this cheesecake, and he spent like $8,000 on it.
And everyone was mad about it for a little while for no reason.
Because it's expensive. It's like $50 cheesecake. Well, I ordered one. It's very good.
It
smells good.
Yep.
It's really
good.
good.
We came up with.
Yeah.
And for everybody who's been bugging me about putting my beanie back on, I put it on. Are you happy now?
Very happy.
People were like crying and screaming.
I keep seeing it randomly throughout the entire episode as people
tears
keep saying
and rage
like, why isn't he wearing the beanie?
No.
All right, beanie engaged.
Excellent.
All right. Let's see. Robin says, fun ninja fact. Shuriken were used mostly by samurai, not ninja. They were annoying to carry when being stealthy and better at intimidating unarmored troops and causing pain to the horse of riders. Wow, interesting. Zach Smith says the Michigan governor decided to ban the sale of seeds and use of any boat with a motor. What? You can't even go fishing?
That's crazy.
What are your thoughts on the current dystopia? Also, what's up, Soy Jesus?
What up?
It's nowhere near as fun as I thought it was going to be.
Nope.
That's what gets me the most frustrated.
My life really doesn't feel like it's changed much.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm here like hyped to get off work to go play this game I've been waiting for 20 years. Like, yeah, I'm working right now, man. What? I mean, I happen to love my job, but all right, go ahead.
All right, well, I want to try and get to these super chats because we got to do this guy who wants to watch the world burn, huh?
Yeah, I'm excited.
Tyler says DNA collection issue. If they can find genes that are linked to tendencies, they can theoretically control you easier. Also, thank you, Adam, for suggesting my new favorite TV show, The Expanse.
Great show.
Yeah, good show.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, it's a great show.
Victor says, Tim, I used to be rational just like you. Always had a sane explanation for all these conspiracies. Then you're going to go down that hole and see actual government docs and verifiable connections and quotes. Boom. I don't think so. I've read so much weird, creepy government docs. You know who Michael Hastings is?
No.
He was a journalist.
Sounds familiar, actually.
He was working on a story about some general or something. He goes to his neighbor's house and asks to borrow her car. She says no. He says, I saw somebody under my car earlier and I don't trust it. Later, like within a day or so, he was speeding. He was driving full speed down like Wilshire Boulevard or something in L.A. I don't know which boulevard he was on, and crashed into a tree, burst into flames, and died instantly.
Oh my gosh!
A journalist working on a story to expose the government said he saw someone under his car and was worried for his life, and then his car crashed
at high speed. Yep. Weird.
This was around the time when people were talking about car hacking too.
Yikes.
Look, I've seen all this stuff, man. Trust me. Journalists should be a bit conspiratorial. JP Inst says, please investigate COVID-19 death disparity. The media declared it's due to racism, yet specialists believe it's related to inefficient vitamin D. Sunlight generation supports respiratory system. Same occurring in other countries. I did hear, I think it was from the Surgeon General, that it's actually cultural, that many people in the black community think they can't catch it. Like something yeah. And it was some story. I could be wrong about this, but he was saying like, come on, this is not true. And so you're seeing videos of people ignoring lockdown, saying I can do whatever I want.
That's why he's under fire right now.
Oh, is that it?
He called him out. He's like, let's take this seriously. Oh, yeah. No, he's a traitor.
Yep.
Okay.
Mixmaster Roshi says, so the COVID-19 bill is setting aside money for religious institutions. How is that legal? As they are not a vital business. And the Constitution says the government may not endorse or fund religion. I didn't know that they were. And I agree. They shouldn't be doing that either.
I agree also.
That also brings up another problem of, can they shut down churches? They shouldn't be able to.
Or start taxing them.
Should they tax churches?
Well, I said, or start taxing them.
Yeah,
That's an option.
I don't think they can, and I don't think they should. I think that they function the same thing as a 501c3. So it's weird to me that see people say like churches should be taxed or whatever, and I'm like, then every nonprofit should be taxed. I don't know what's the difference. They do the same thing.
Well, I wasn't calling for it. I was just adding to the list.
No, I'm not saying you were.
Right.
I'm saying like that's one thing that's been popping up lately,
yeah.
where they're like, oh, they're essential businesses and they should be taxed, and I'm like, nonprofits are businesses. They could be essential. We don't tax them. Right. You know what I mean? And they're operating, especially homeless shelters. Austin Laverty says, Australian art student, you say? Oi, crikey. I'm not going to read that one. Wild. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, man. I can't read it. Not on YouTube. Will Charlton says, I noticed your respect for rural living. Really like to hear you riff on cultural pressure, only going from high to low density populations, not low to high. Grew up in country, married city girl, can't convince her of the plus side of rural. I know people who grew up in the suburbs who want to live in the city. People who grew up rural want to live in the city. I know people who live in the city who want to live in the city. I know very few people who want to move rural, I know a few people actually that were born in New York and couldn't wait to get out of New York. But you know what? It changes because there's billions of us and we're all different, completely different. Yeah. We all are different people, humans. Totally. I know a decent amount of people who want to live rural. Most people I know don't. I mean, maybe that'll change now. I mean, the internet changed everything. Yeah. Totally. I play games with one of my homies in New York, and I lived in New York for a long time, and we never hung out in person. But we gamed all the time, and I still game with them all the time, So, it's like I could be anywhere in the world and still have that. Totally. So give me good internet, and I can run my business. Exactly. Joey says, Tim, you got to look for property in Indiana where we have gig internet, and it's cheap cheap AF to live there. They got gig internet in West Virginia. You got to find the right spot, but they got it. Sword Logic says, this show is perfect for my shifts at work operating photo radar. Thanks for having me pass the time while I serve my community in these trying times. Hey, appreciate it, man. Yeah, thanks. Dan Rowland says, Revelations 13:16-18, Romans 12:17-21, 13:18-9. Listen to Mike Lindell. Happy Easter, and God bless everyone. Sounds good. Ward says, never going to give you up, never going to let you down. What's it? And desert you, never going to make you cry, never going to say goodbye and hurt you. Tom says, great question for Tim. Where does your phrase stars and garters come from? I have no idea.
It's super old school.
Yeah.
Where does that come from?
I don't know. It's probably
like an old movie.
No, I probably saw it in a cartoon when I was a little kid or something.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, my stars and garters. Google it. I have no idea. I saw it on TV when I was a kid. Matthew says, come to Wyoming, low taxes, lots of room, 5 cows per person. 5 cows per person per square mile. Kanye likes it here.
That sounds stinky.
How's the internet, though?
Cows are stinky.
Cows are stinky?
Yeah.
But cows are cool, man.
They are really cool, actually.
Yeah, I like cows.
They're cool. They are cool animals.
America Float says, Bernie sucks, no refunds. Frustrated Omegle, thanks for becoming a member.
Appreciate it.
Bobcat says, no matter how bad things get, remember, we are all in this together. The authoritarians cannot win if we simply ignore them. Right on. TLR says, hey, Lydia, nice bread. They shut down boating here, even if you have a private boat slip. Oof.
Oh, man.
Wow.
Not fair.
It's rough.
Zach says, hey, Tim, I'm getting into skating and specifically longboarding. What's your opinion on longboarding? I don't really have one.
Go on.
I don't really have one.
Oh, no. Yeah, you were never a longboarder.
No.
Well, I started as a longboarder, and longboarding is great for distance skating or speed skating. You can't really go 50, 60 miles an hour down a mountain on a shortboard. You need a longboard for that. And it is incredibly fun to do that. I don't know if you know about downhill skating, but yeah, it's all about what kind of skating you want to do. And I taught skateboarding for a long time in a skate school in New York. And the number one thing I would say to someone who asked me what kind of board should I get is go into a skate shop and try standing on all sorts. Every skate shop's going to let you stand on different boards. Stand on them all. Try them all out. Find the one that you're comfortable with. If you're just going to be going to and fro, then you don't really need a short board. Get a longer board with bigger wheels. That's, it's all about what you're going to do with it. So if you want to trick, you want to do a skate park, get a classic skateboard because it's significantly more fun, in those kind of environments.
We can go a little longer for the last segment, but I want to ask you, do you think we should talk about this guy? We kept saying we're going to talk about this guy who's saying, let the businesses fall.
Yeah.
Or the guy who's got the private Air Force.
Ooh.
Oh, man, the private Air Force is cool.
We should do the private Air Force.
Yeah, I don't know. Let's see. Should we ask chat? I don't know.
Well,
how do we
there's
get
a minute delay.
That's a minute delay. Would you rather us talk about a private Air Force with this guy who's got like over 40 fighter jets, or this guy who rags on the billionaires and the corporations getting a bailout,
saying they should just be wiped out?
They shouldn't be getting anything.
Super free market, baby.
So this is a live question. We're supposed to be ending in 4 minutes, and we're definitely going to go over because who cares? So, all right, everyone seems. I mean, I said Air Force first.
Private Air Force.
Yeah.
It seems the Air Force is winning.
Private Air Force.
I mean, the business fail guy. It's interesting. Nah. Air Force wins.
Private Air Force.
All I see is Air Force.
Yeah.
The private.
All right, we're doing the Air Force,
Do it.
and that's because you guys chose it.
Yeah, man.
So that's great. Let's go to. Let's go over to Tim.
Air Force.
To Tim.
Let's go to Tim. Tim, take it away.
Here we
Check
are,
out
Timothy.
this story. The War Zone.
Yes.
This man owns the world's most advanced private Air Force after buying 46 FA-18 Hornets. We talked to the owner of Air USA about probably the most incredible private aircraft purchase of all time and the future of his adversary business.
Adversary business.
Look at this.
Oh my gosh.
I can't believe this is real. I got to be honest. Is this guy like super rich or something?
Is that a kangaroo on the side there? It is. That's a kangaroo. Look,
Where?
right behind his head.
That
is totally a kangaroo.
And you can see here you got like tiger.
heck?
Check this out. First, I want to show you some pictures. Let me actually let me zoom in on this.
That's his
article.
new Air Force team.
Wow.
Dude.
I mean, this is the reason I wanted to be in the Air Force. I mean, my uncle was in the Air Force also, but I wanted to fly those planes. But I'm colorblind, and I have glasses, so nope, not allowed to fly planes.
Oh man.
So that have you ever seen Little Miss Sunshine?
Yeah, a long time ago.
So the son is talking about flying jets, and the granddad is like, "Oh, does he know that he's colorblind, so he can't?" And the kid like freaks out and he's just like screaming in the sky. Yeah, that was me. I mean, I wasn't screaming about it, but I definitely was bummed because when I was 8-year-old me, one of the first games I ever had was this. It was Afterburner. It was a little tiny cockpit, like you had the little thing and you'd accelerate the plane, and all it was just a little arcade, like move to the left or the right to avoid stuff or shoot. But man, I loved it, and I just wanted to be a fighter pilot, and I found out I couldn't.
Got to have perfect vision.
I'm bummed. So I'm a little jealous of this guy. He's got 46
so cool.
planes.
Oh my
Well,
gosh.
I guess if you
get to choose.
if you privately own a fighter, you can,
that's what I need to do.
yeah, and they get clearance to fly it, I guess.
Or just befriend this dude.
Yeah.
He's got a couple extras to
get a
spare.
Here's what they say: for the last 30 years, Don Curlin has been flying for the airlines, working on real estate deals, setting up the world's biggest skydiving meets, and building a private air force, the likes of which even he has a hard time believing is possible. Just last month, the War Zone was among the first to report that his company would be purchasing multiple squadrons worth of surplus Royal Australian Air Force RAAF FA-18 Hornets to be used in the contractor adversary air support role here in the United States. Not only do we have all the details on that purchase, which is even more impressive than it initially seemed, but we talked at length with the entrepreneur owner of Air USA, located in Quincy, Illinois. Wow.
Oh, wow.
About his company's past and what is turning into a remarkable, if not downright historic, future. So is this like private air security?
It's for his
It
company.
sounds like it.
All right,
What?
let's
Security for his company?
Well, I think this is it sounds like it's run by his company.
Well, yeah.
That's what it sounded like to me. So it's not. It sounds like it might not just be his.
So I don't want to read through the basic history of his company, not to be disrespectful to his company. I want to hear about what he's going to be doing with these things.
Yes.
Check this out. Enter the most spectacular private aircraft purchase of all time. Air USA's acquisition of all of the Royal Australian Air Force's remaining FA-18AB Hornets. Canada had bought 25 prior to this deal going through. The jets Air USA is slated to receive 46 in total, of which 36 are flying today, will be replaced by the F-35A Joint Strike Fighter within the RAAF's ranks, and thus will be totally retired from service by the end of 2021. Damn, I'd take one, man.
I want one.
How much do you think it costs for him to buy? Do they mention?
That was the first thing I bought in GTA 5 was the Hydra, the plane that could, the Harrier that could just go off and fly.
But these things can't do that, right?
No, I don't think so.
So they're talking a bit about configurations and stuff. All of Air USA's secondhand Hornets feature AN APG-73 radar, the same one that is found on the FA-18CD, and this is a lot of jargon for me, on the Super Hornets that differ from the less capable AN APG-65 radar. I have no idea what that means.
Oh, yes.
Sure, this makes
I'm trying to
perfect
figure out what
sense.
the cost of this and what it's going to do with them.
Right.
You know?
How much did it cost?
Check this out. The jets also come with their Northrop Grumman AN/AAQ-28 Lightning Advanced Targeting Pods, which are hugely capable in the air-to-ground targeting and non-traditional reconnaissance realm, as well as for positively identifying aircraft visually at long ranges. You can read all about this function and its value in this past piece of ours. In addition, the Hornets come with 68 joint helmet mounting cueing systems, which offers helmet-mounted display capability and drastically increases a pilot's situational awareness and high off-bore sight targeting for close-range air-to-air missiles.
That sounds like
This
Iron
will-
Man.
Seriously.
It does.
This will make it easier for these aggressor jets to simulate foreign capabilities of a similar nature. But what are they going to do? Like, what does he do with these?
Someone tagged me and they said that they're using them to be the adversaries in training for
that's what it
for the Air
is.
Force. So they're not facing each other; they're facing another
that's so cool.
group.
Wow.
I don't know if that's true, but I
be.
do appreciate you guys all tagging me in
That's awesome.
randomly. It's pretty good.
What's
It's for training. Some other
what's
people
the
are saying it to
cost?
me. Yeah, they
70?
learn to dogfight with each other.
Wow,
It's
dude.
pretty cool. So that's not a part of the Air Force. So this is the team I need to get on. That's what I'm talking about.
Can you-
Will they let you fly even, or will they have similar, similar conditioning?
No, I have no idea. I'm not sure.
That
I want to
would
know what
be
the
so
price
cool.
is. What is this?
$70 million a piece.
What?
Yep.
Someone
He
tagged
bought
me and said
46.
33 million per plane.
Oh, this says the unit cost is the 2017 flyaway cost was 70.5 million.
Where is that? Is that in here
Per,
somewhere?
per jet.
Yeah.
70 mil. Wait, how much?
Wait, is that brand new though?
Yeah, it must be.
But these are used, weren't they?
So 33 million makes sense.
That does make sense. Okay.
Times
about half
so
18
$1
46
billion
of them?
dollars? Did he spend $1 billion?
possibly.
That's crazy.
Wait, am I doing my math wrong? That's $1 billion, right?
I don't know. Let me
Let's see.
math.
33 times 46. It's like
46.
Yeah.
I thought it was 18 for some reason.
he bought
1.5.
46.
Yeah.
1.5 billion.
1.5 billion.
Wow, man.
Holy
Yep.
moly.
All right, I got to become a billionaire
Yes.
so that I can buy.
No. You don't need 40 of them.
You need like one.
Two.
Okay.
You're right. I
okay,
need
okay.
80 of them.
You need your summertime jet and the wintertime jet. No.
He needs 80 of
Summertime jet.
them. Oh my gosh. What's happening?
Sometimes you want to
to.
put the top down, you know?
Dude, check this out.
I don't know.
Here's
about
what they
that.
say. It says JTACs need to get time on the mic with real aircraft overhead in both day and nighttime conditions to get accustomed to organizing the three-dimensional airspace overhead in relationship to the battle space on the ground, and effectively, safely, and efficiently call in airstrikes on enemy targets. This is an incredibly complex and high-stakes job, but using high-performance fighters in the Pentagon's inventory that cost at least $20,000 an hour to train with is horribly cost-ineffective. As such, being able to provide far less expensive assets via the contractor marketplace for some of this training has become a major priority.
Yep, so it's training. Yeah.
Dude, you mean to tell me this guy has got a lucrative business and all these fighter jets? When the zombie apocalypse happens, this guy's got air superiority.
Yep.
So cool.
Isn't like the American war doctrine like based on air superiority or something? Like that's like a big part of what we do.
That's true, yeah.
I'd hope so.
Yeah, props to the chat for hitting me up with the appropriate information.
Yeah, nice.
Appreciate you guys.
What is this? He's also got helicopters?
What?
Dope.
Who is this guy?
What?
I always like.
I want to hang out with this guy. Wow, man. So he also has Cessnas, apparently, which have reciprocating turbocharged IO360 engines found on normal light planes, extremely efficient compared to their turbine-powered competitors, and feature video downlink, encrypted communications, and night vision goggle compatible cockpits. Among other modifications, they are also certified under the FAA's standard category, not the experimental category, even with all their modifications, which has a multitude of benefits. Check this out. You know, it's this. Remember earlier I was talking about people buying houses in Maine?
Yeah.
I'm like, what? Who are these people who's got $1.5 billion to buy
Found one.
all these? But how does he have all that money?
You think
know
he's
what I
got a nice place in Maine?
I bet he does.
Maybe.
Well, he lives in Illinois. I bet he's got a really nice place in Illinois.
Yeah, true.
But how do you secure? I mean, I think it's fair to say maybe he didn't personally buy them. Maybe he secured a big loan and said, we got a government contract guarantee over 30 years or something like that. And so he got people to finance it.
Yeah.
I'd imagine that would make sense. And now he gets to stand in front of them and talk to, about how he is the one who has all of these. And I'm sure he is very happy about it. I'm glad he's been able to. They have a bunch of other stuff, apparently. Check this out. He's got tons of planes.
Holy cow.
Like, not just the ones he just recently bought.
Yeah, look at all that.
So they do skydiving and stuff. This is a really interesting article because it basically goes into literally everything. But
Yeah.
I got to confess, I don't know enough about the jargon.
Yeah.
Other than how big. I'm curious how big this Air Force is compared to the others in the world. You know what I heard? This could be not true. Maybe it's true. There's a thing that, it's not really a joke. It's kind of like a point. Do you know who has the biggest Air Force in the world?
I don't.
Do you know what the biggest Air Force in the world is?
I don't.
The United States Air Force.
Okay.
Do you know what the second biggest Air Force in the world is?
I don't.
The United States Navy.
Oh, I did hear that.
I've heard that before. I don't know if it's true.
It's not really surprising though. I mean,
Totally.
So like the naval vessels, the aircraft carriers,
They have planes and all
that's
that
not
stuff.
that's not the Air Force. That's
No.
the Navy.
It's a Navy.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I'm
Blue
assuming.
Angel?
I always
Yeah.
just assumed it was
Navy?
kind of like a joint effort. Like they
Separate. Because I think the Air Force was handling out of space stuff too. Now the Space Force does it.
Right.
But they handle a lot of other stuff that the Navy wouldn't.
Well, actually, no. The original space stuff would be from a little bit of everyone.
Right.
Every different aspect of the Army had a little piece of it, and it made a mess of it, and that's why the Space Force actually does make some sense.
Dude,
So,
whatever this guy's doing, he did it right.
yeah.
I need to figure that out
Yeah, he's
So
doing
that,
it right, dude.
so I can have a photo like this.
Look at how happy he is.
Oh my
That is one happy dude. He's
That's
like,
a
yeah, check out my
sexy
jet.
You know what's
guy.
funny? You know what's really, really funny?
What?
I think it was Eric Swalwell, I'm not sure, a Democrat, who made a point about the Second Amendment.
Okay.
And he said something like, maybe it wasn't him, I may be wrong, but he said something about buying a tank. And like, he's like, are you going to go buy a tank? And of course not. There are limits. You actually can buy a tank.
He was the one
can
who
you
was
really?
talking about nuking people.
I wonder how
Well,
much
I
a
know.
tank is.
But I actually looked it up and fact check. You can buy a tank
That's dope.
with artillery and everything. You're
What?
You're totally
With artillery?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure actually. Yeah, and there was a story about apparently somebody bought a tank and was firing a full auto 50 cal into a lake, and someone called the cops, and the cops were like, I don't know what we do about that. Like, what are we supposed to do?
What are we going to... Excuse me, sir. Excuse me. Please,
No.
please stop.
Not excuse me, sir. Excuse me.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, right?
But apparently, he was allowed to do it. He was like, I don't know the full story. You can look it up. Maybe I'm wrong. My general memory of it is that like he owned the lake. It was his property, and he was firing into it.
Oh,
And
okay.
so like, you own a tank, you own the guns, your property. You can do what you want.
Yeah, I read a funny article about some guy that had a tank and he parked it in his front yard, and like the homeowners association started complaining, and he was like, I don't care what you have to say.
I have a
Go
tank."
ahead and move it. If you don't like it, go ahead and try and move it.
Oh,
And they were
man.
just like, what do we do?
But I think it's funny. Like the reason I bring it up is you want to talk about the right to bear arms. One of the things they always say is like, you think you're going to be able to fend off the government in a revolution, because it's like, some conservatives will say the right to bear arms to stop a tyrannical government.
Yeah.
Then the left will say the government has nukes. What are you going to do? Well, this guy just bought some from the Royal Australian Air Force, some Hornets.
Yeah.
So
You can do that.
he has the right to bear these arms.
Yeah.
Like
it probably would have been more if Canada didn't snag those 25 jets.
I know, right?
Yeah, oh yeah. I bet he would have bought them all up.
Oh, let's grab some of those.
So let me just say, for those that would question whether or not you have the right to bear arms in this country, while there are certainly strange laws and infringement, if anyone ever says to you, well, what are you going to do against the U.S. government? Show them this guy. Be like, well, this guy bought a bunch of fighter jets. He's working with the government.
I was just saying, he's probably contracted to, like, they might have helped him pay for this.
It's true.
Because if it's that much cheaper for them to use him as their practice pilots, if
he buys these jets.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, clearly the dude has the right to bear arms, even fighter jets.
Yeah.
So,
Exactly.
I wonder what the legal loopholes were. You know what the thing is, too? But there's no law in the books saying you can't do it.
I didn't know that I'd wake up today with finding a new goal in life.
To buy some fighter jets?
To have my own fighter jet. I had no idea.
Well, when you hit 33 million,
yep,
you can get your first. That's the crazy thing to me. I'm like, how do you even get to 33 million, let alone 1.5 billion?
Yeah.
I don't know, dude.
Well, that's why I think it wasn't just him. It was
probably financing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
He had a company.
Some tax something or other.
Yeah. A lot of things like that.
Yeah.
Word. All right. Well, we'll grab the last few super chats and then we will head on off to Adam. Will play Final Fantasy 7.
I was thinking it.
All right. So let's see. Where are we at? Let's see. TLR says, hey, Lydia. I read that one. Sorry. Zach says, hey, Tim, I'm getting into skating. Anyway, I read that one too. Okay.
Yes.
Joe says, my
Still
GF wants to move out to the city and own all of the dogs. I'm seriously considering it now. Move out of the city.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, totally. Tim Cole says, I moved from New York 4 years ago. Dodged that.
Yep.
I moved away. Yeah, over the past couple of years.
Yeah, I moved away last year. I'm really happy I did.
Yeah, man. Andrew Nelson says, any tips on starting a garden in an apartment? I actually
start small.
I actually do have a recommendation passively that I'm not going to show the site because it's a potential sponsor. SuperEasySeeds.com.
Okay.
So I got hit up about doing promos for them. I have not done one yet.
Oh yeah, you showed me that.
Yeah.
It looks cool.
It's basically you get this little like, I don't know what it is, like a bag or something.
Yeah, you get like a bag. It's a kit, and the bag becomes like this thing that you plant your seeds in.
You unroll this sheet
Just a little
and then
sheet.
water it, and
Yep.
it's like the commercial is someone's cooking pizza and plucking fresh basil like right
It's
off
like a
their
little garden.
So I'm I'm being very clear. I'm not going to show the site or anything. I'm just for people who asked, SuperEasySeeds.com, and I will likely do promos for them in the future because they're like a new. We're actually waiting for the samples before I actually promote them. So that's kind of the thing. Whenever someone hits me up and they're like, "Would you like to promote this for us?" I'm typically like, "No, I won't." This one's actually really cool, and I'm stoked to get one. So I was like, "Dude, please send me this."
I ordered some, and I'm just waiting for them to show because I
Yeah.
cannot wait to plant them.
So before I
excited.
actually say about writing recommendations or anything like that in terms of an official sponsorship, I have to use it because if it's not good,
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
like I'm not going to tell people to buy it.
Looks cool.
But it looks cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I bring it up because it's like the only thing off the top of my head I can say about gardening in your apartment, like this good to go thing. But
as I said, start small. Don't get overwhelmed, and learn and build from small.
Yeah.
Because then you can handle it.
Yeah.
So don't try to overwhelm by doing like 5 different plants. Just do like 2
Yeah, make sure you got enough sun. I killed some plants that way.
Oh yeah.
or the appropriate lights.
Right, exactly.
Former Ghost says Major Glory said that Dexter's Lab mini shorts, the Super Friends, along with Van Halen and the Incredulous Crunk. All right. Little Witch says Mike Huckabee is suing FLA over using his beach. What's FLA? Florida?
No.
X Nihilo says Wyoming has gig internet in places. Cool. Ian, thanks for becoming a member. The Bearded Hippie says, Adam, Tim, look into signing up to the website Storyfire. It has potential to become better than YouTube. Got a cool name. Fearless Soldier says, what do you think about how Exotic and Tiger King? Joe Exotic? Didn't like it. I got bored of it. Stopped watching
weird.
it.
I started watching it, and I just was all I can think of this whole time is like, why am I watching this? Why do I care about these people at all? It's like,
Yeah.
I couldn't do it.
Yo Buddy says, thoughts on Amazon banning the movie Hoaxed? It's still there in book form. You can buy the DVD, but as far as I can tell, it's been removed from Amazon Prime for direct download. I'm not surprised. It's a Mike Cernovich's documentary. I'm actually in it, and it talks about the fake news. And so, I tell my story how I was told to lie. I was basically told to side with the audience and just say what they want to hear.
Okay.
And Amazon took it down. And it was apparently doing really, really well. Yeah, and so that's one of the reasons. That's why some people think they got rid of it. Nick Crouch says, Soy Jesus, I'm with you. Check out DCS World and fulfill your dream.
Okay.
The Moral Pejorative says, I'm tripping balls. Good for you, buddy.
Glad you're here.
Bradford says, Pornhub has considered making a new platform to compete with YouTube in a safe for work environment. They have the resources to do so.
They do.
That would be cool.
Interesting.
Yeah. Kyle says, shall not be infringed equals buy own Air Force. You know it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nick, thanks for becoming a member. Wolf's Black Rose says, shout out to Tyler. I'm so glad he left Gawker. Warzone was good stuff. I expect it still is. Oh, cool. Is that who did it? Yep. Tyler Rogaway. Yeah, that's a really cool article, man. Cool stuff. I'd love to get like a video of what's going on down there, like do a documentary. Nathan, thanks for the super chat. Darkstar says, I retired from the USAF after 28 years. I was flight medicine for 24 years. We did all the flight physicals for new pilots and kept older ones in the air.
Very
That's
cool.
awesome.
That is cool.
Tony L says, hello, I live in Michigan in a pretty big fishing community. And when the weather is nice, every guy with a boat is out on the water. No one is listening to Whitmer's order out here.
Good.
It's not surprising.
Let's see. Gerg says, watch Dank's Mad Lad from today.
I have not gotten to it
I
yet.
did get recommended it. I need to watch it.
Yeah.
CJ says, probably bought a lot of it on credit, by the way. For sure. Zachary says, was in naval aviation working with FA-18E Super Hornets. Government issued my pilot's experimental speed pills. They were made illegal a week later. Whoa.
Whoa.
Jeez.
Shy Guy says, you can buy a BMP for $100K.
I don't know what that is.
Bobcat says,
Probably a plane.
Adam, forget fighter. Ground attack aircraft are cheaper, easier to fly, and far more fun.
Okay. All right.
John Reese says, have you guys tried the Resident Evil 3 remake? I haven't.
I haven't. I never really was a Resident Evil player, but I was tempted to get the VR version because it looked really cool.
I liked 1 and 2. And after that, the story started getting weird, and I just didn't. I
never played them, no.
Yeah, not. Evil Morty says, Amazon equals deep state. Nathan Tucker says, I did political compass, got left authoritarian. Did the political party test, got Constitution Party. Not sure the connection. Me neither. All right. Well, thanks for hanging out, everybody.
Yeah, thank you.
If you haven't already, hit the like button. You can become a member if you'd like to support the show. Thanks for all the super chats. Make sure to follow us. Our usernames are right above our heads.
Yeah.
Send story
me.
ideas to Adam.
Send them my way.
So you make sure you follow him and send them because then we actually pick them up if
Yep.
people have some good recommendations.
Yeah, there's been a few that have helped me out.
Totally.
Appreciate you guys.
Subscribe, hit the notification bell, and we do the show every Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. So I guess we will see. Is today Friday?
Today's Friday.
I
On
guess we'll see
Monday.
you Monday.
Yeah.
I get 2 half days off.
Yes.
Thanks for hanging out, everybody. We'll
Bye,
see you
guys.
next time.
Have a good night and a good weekend.